Hello everyone and welcome back to SI Day 3 2024 live from Sao Paulo, Brazil. The second game of the day is on the way and we had G2 up against Geekay. This is going to be an interesting one. Another battle in this Group A which has been slowly but surely shaping up to be in favor of G2.
Absolutely. I mean, especially if G2 get another 2 under their belt, it's going to be pretty hard for any of the other teams to catch up against them.
Yeah, the good thing about this is technically it is a rematch as well, because these two teams played against each other at Atlanta in a best of one, so that's going to be different territory for them for this time around. But last time around, it was a 7-5 victory for G2 on Skyscraper, so that indicates that even that means that this might be a very close best of 3, considering that in that initial best of 1 it was pretty close as well. Yeah,
although we were looking at the attacking win rates for both of these teams being fairly equally matched, it was really the defensive win rate from the side of Geekay that I was a little worried about, because it was 84% for G2 and 44% for Geekay.
Well, I mean, I think that's mainly because G2 is very good individually, and especially on defense when you're put into positions where you have to kind of make plays. They have playmakers on the team.
All right. Well, G2, however, is a team that has been very confident, and we've seen that on the server. So let's check in with them to see what they have to say ahead of SI.
I'm Doki, and I'm the entry fragger for G2 Esports. I'm feeling confident about the team. I think we've had a little bit of a bumpy road leading up to the tournament, but I think when the tournament starts and the games start, like, that's where we perform the best, and I have faith and confidence in all my teammates and in myself. So yeah, no problems. I think we're going to do good. So this year we open up the tournament against NIP. They're a really experienced team, and I think they're one of the best teams in Brazil. So yeah, it's going to be, you know, it's better kick it off with a good game than some boring game. So yeah, you guys have been here before and you've done well, you've achieved the hammer, but ever since then, I haven't really seen you guys. So I think it's time to take a step back and let the real champions show you how to play Siege.
A bit of trash talk ahead of their game against NIP. That one did indeed go in their favor, so very much well placed. Looking at the roster though, however, from the side of G2, it does feel like they have found all their missing pieces. They've gelled together incredibly well. Benja has now been on the roster for longer than 30 days. Yay! And it's going great.
Absolutely, especially now that Benja's getting a little more comfortable. He is leading the team. He is currently the second best rated player in the tournament. He has a plus 18 kills. He has an 11-3 opening kills. I mean, he's been doing so much for G2 in the aspects of finding the opening kills, being that pinpoint the first guy that everyone has to go through. But not just that, every member on G2 is currently with a positive KD.
That's really important, of course, but yeah, I mean, Doki mentioned in the interview, right, the fact that they had this really bumpy road coming into SI due to multiple different factors, but also the South breach that, I mean, we can't just deny that it really was lacking on some kind of the fundamentals, and that seems to be going a lot better for them so far in this tournament. You know, making sure you work out your 2v1 with your body system, things like that, the teamwork, communication definitely seems to be a lot better, and that is definitely promising, considering they're the team that I think has lost the least amount of rounds so far in this tournament.
Yeah, you know what else is promising? Geekay Esports and how they've been performing so far at SI. They went up against Dark Zero, and I think that went incredibly well. They showed really great glimpses of what they're able to do. But also, ahead of SI, we had a word with them as well, so let's hear.
My name is Noodle. I play for Geekay Esports, and I'm an entry fragger. Well, after a failed stage 1 from Geekay, not qualifying for the Copenhagen Major, I was brought in for stage 2. We managed to qualify for Atlanta and made a very good run at it, which helped us qualify for SI, which was obviously a dream come true for everyone playing at such a prestigious event in Siege. I think we've got a different sort of approach towards the preparation now. We had a lot more time than we did for the Major, so I think with the prep we've had, we should be able to rock some teams again like we did at the Major. In our first game, we're going to be playing against Dark Zero, which is one of the teams I'm looking forward to playing. I'm excited to see what Nath brings to Dark Zero as their new pickup, and obviously Bolo is just an upgrade to the players that they had. And Dark Zero, Nath, you'll be going back to Europe after this match.
Oh, okay, I like that. I mean, unfortunately, that Dark Zero game didn't necessarily go completely in their favor, but they did get a point. They did get a point. You gotta give it to them.
Yeah, but it's also because you have to think about the whole structure of that matchup in the beginning, right? I mean, Noodle's played an SI before, but apart from that, for everyone else, it is their first SI. To go up against someone that's already played 8 of them, that is definitely going to be a difficult one. And now you're going to play against the former SI champion. So they've not been given the most easy matchups to start out with so far in this tournament, but You gotta love the hype. Sorry, I gotta appreciate that as well. Just they seem ready for it.
Absolutely.
But also, I think that's what we saw in that DZ game, right? You saw that they had a little bit of nerves maybe in the beginning, but you could see it on the players' faces. As soon as things started to go their way, there was a lot more ease. Shot calling, eye gelling seems to be pretty decent if you're listening to the players as well. We spoke to Null, he's taken a main lead into that as well. The shot calling from other players, but communication definitely seems to be good, and that might be because they had more preparation time.
Absolutely, and the way that they talked about their interesting style of just playing the game, I really love the way that they play. It almost as there's two different teams within the team. They have Noodle, Hashom, and Seriously, who are pretty much the front line of the way that they try to position away around the map. But the biggest highlight to these guys is their supporting line. Key and Trixid.
I mean, they're putting on a show.
Yeah, the two guys couldn't let just somebody yell out at them. You know, they got to yell back. But that being said, I think the biggest thing to note with GK is they do have two different teams. I think that's the biggest issue right now is the front line is going very fast, where the back line is just lagging a little behind.
Yeah, and with the map video as well coming through, we'll be exactly knowing where we'll be heading over to Oregon, Chalet, as well as Consulate. In terms of the maps that we've seen already from both of these teams, I'm not too worried, but I think it's going to be an exciting one.
I'm very interested with the Oregon pick out of G2. I mean, there's a saying that, at least in North America, that you never want to take a team that you think you're better than to Oregon because it's such a simple map.
Oh, that's why I call it Oregon.
Yeah, just because it's been played so long, it's been beaten to death. Everybody knows how to play it. I mean, if there's a team that will bring some new additions to it, it'll probably be GK. But Chalet doesn't surprise me. I mean, both very aggressive maps. So it'll be interesting to see how GK plays Oregon and how G2 handles it.
There's very good reason as to why GK would pick a map like Chalet, for example. I mean, they have played on it themselves. It was a map that they brought it really close to Dark Zero on 5-7 loss, unfortunately, but still, you won quite a few rounds and you brought it really close. And then for G2, of course, they played this map as well, but they did suffer a loss against what is considered the Into the Breach Academy roster during that South Breach tournament. So there is a lot of information, but we've also seen that G2 has had rocky roads on that map.
Yeah, but also when we spoke to Doki post their first win here, that he did mention at that South Breach tournament, they had no warm-up. It was 3 weeks Christmas break. They just come in rolling straight ahead. But it did kind of bear their fundamentals and potentially how that's not gelling. But we've seen them do better here at SI.
Yeah, I don't think it matters too much just because when it comes to effort, I mean, the team from G2 obviously need some type of weight or something to matter for them to put a little more of that effort into the game.
Yeah, and when we're looking at GK, this is something that you already particularly touched upon a little bit in terms of the style and the way that they want to play Siege. Does it sometimes come across in terms that they're lacking structure, maybe a game plan, which when you're going up against a team like G2 could be really scary?
Could very much be scary indeed. I mean, we talked about the fundamentals of G2 being really good, so even if they switch up different playstyles, they still have that very good baseline that they can go off of. Whereas if you are, for example, GK, they now had more time to prepare for this tournament. Communication seems to be really good. It's just that I hope that they continue to play the way they did against DZ, where they do push into their faces.
I agree. I also think the biggest threat towards GK is we talked about how good G2 was at finding those opening kills, how they were good on defense, just being able to pull just rounds out of thin air. And I think the biggest issue that we talked about is the back line and the front line. And I think G2 is so good on the roam that they're able to exploit the fact that the back line is a little too far away from the front line. So they're able to capitalize, I guess, on the misinformation or the lack of connectivity from GK.
Well, the first map is going to show a lot for both of these teams, so let's head straight into the action with our casters for GK up against G2.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the casting desk. My name is Stokes, and as you guys know, this is Pangu. Pangy, how you feeling today, man? It's our first time casting together.
I was gonna say, it's pretty exciting, and I know whenever you're casting a game like a team like G2 rather, always exciting as well. So I'm happy that we get to pair up with another good team. It'll be a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of good maps on the docket here too, Nick. We're starting off on Oregon, a classic in Rainbow Six Siege.
I mean, this takes us back, and you know, any team can play this, we tend to say. So I have this mentality that if you are a good team, you don't want to go against quote-unquote weaker teams on this. It's a 50-50. Anyone can beat anybody. Yesterday, we saw Bleed take down W7M in overtime on Oregon. So I have a little bit of fear for G2 because they picked this map. That means they will go on the attacking side first, and that can be troublesome given the current meta being very defender favored.
Absolutely. Oregon's currently sitting in the middle of the map pool right now with 4 plays, 59% overall defensive win rate, Nick. We only had 2 rounds on Kitchen Dining, no wins for that one. Meeting Hall and Kitchen have 8. Dorms Kids 12 and Laundry Supply 19. Dorms Kids actually the most winningest site right now. It's 75%. Not a big shocker there.
No, not at all. And the big question is, how do these teams want to shape up? Well, it comes down to the operator ban phase. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, did you?
No, I mean, you can prepare for a lot of things, right? But an Ash ban, that's like a smack in the face saying, oh, we know that you guys are going to get cheeky with this. We're going to shut it down immediately. And you're also showing a bit of disrespect in the process. One thing the teams do when they prep for these games is that you're going to go, okay, they're probably going to ban these 2 operators, and then we're going to ban these 2 operators. That's the expected outcome. When you do like an Ash into a My ban, you might throw your enemy a bit of a curveball. They have to problem solve now on the fly with not much time left to change up every single defensive round and maybe even most of their attacking rounds as well.
Absolutely. This feels very pointed towards Noodle as well because he's been playing quite aggressive on a couple of these operators. His main man is not Ash. It's been Finka throughout a lot of his offensive sets and playing a little bit of Hoover out on the back end of things. So we'll have to see what his adjustments are going to be. They will have access to Tubi here, so we'll see if they want to try and bring that inside the lineup. Obviously, Geekay is going to be starting things off on defense here. Not going to see it the very first time, though, as we are going to head down into the basement for the very first round.
Big surprise, right? You can start on all 4 bomb sites. Where are you going? Let's go basement. Feeling risky today, are we? One of the strongest bomb sites in the majority of the map pool, I would argue, right now in the current given meta. It is as stable as it gets. You're playing close together, about the crossfires, and for the attack inside, you don't have that many ways to enter the bomb site. You have the stairs from Big Tower. You have the big double door, it's from blue, go into like construction. Then you got your freezer stairs and lobby stairs. That's really it. You can drop the meeting hatch, but usually you remember with a C4 or people holding that angle ready for you. So this will really check G2 right now on their fundamentals. They gotta drone the map out, clear out the whole roam game, and then figure out a weakness on the bomb site and strike it accordingly.
Yeah, E-Box can quickly become Killbox in a matter of moments there, especially those nitro cells pouring in. And we've seen a lot of different things used in those moments, especially things like smoke as well. So we get that nice fly-through on the front end of the building. It's going to be Benjamaster, who currently, Nick, sits at the top of the player pool here at SI. He's playing fantastic as well. So you guys have a good memory. You remember last SI, he was actually our MVP. He was 3rd overall, I do believe, in his play. But as of right now, he's sitting in a nice 1.39. So we'll see if they can continue that. With a nice find here in elbow. And they're getting aggro. Is there any assistance here? Doesn't seem like they have too much. It's actually going to be Geekay that come out on top of the heap.
Bit surprising there. Normally we see teams take it slow and do like a 3-2-1 countdown, but Dogi saw an opportunity, only got one, then got taken down. But the bigger issue here is that Uno fell in the midst of that as well. So it's a 2-for-1 trade, fairing the defensive side. And now when they're 3 versus 4, attackers have even less places to attack from, and they're going to be even more predictable. This is not a great start for G2, but we know them. They like to disrespect their opponent. If Doki had gotten away with that, getting both kills, that's like a big, hey, you guys kind of suck.
Absolutely. And a little bit of a double down there from Uno, but a required, stretch there to try and even things out. Just didn't exactly go their way. They're definitely going to be missing out on those Rotero drones a little bit, but they can't try and figure out down the line. But just found a couple of people over here on the construction side. They want to try and address this now with Alamau in tow.
They're in both corners, left and right. Bench is not ready for this. He runs away, though. Oh, Christ. But they get the trade now, 2-for-2. Things are equally tied up once more.
Alamau, no calls, so we'll be able to assist from that. Seriously, it's a nice little spot here inside of Pillar. Knows one's around the space. Shot sent his way. Does still have Virtue over top on E-Box, but that Fear Gas is going to start to get to him as a knockout Fenrir's gadget. Do know that guy's still around Pillar, and seriously, can he get the last? He can! A nice shot at a 416C. Geekay start on top.
And we might know the big names like Alamau, Uno, Doki, Virtue, and Benjamast, but if you want to look at a star performer right now in this server, it is seriously. He has been on an absolute heater so far in this tournament, and like individually finding those kills, smart decision making, super accurate in those gunfights. And Geekay, they start off this tournament up against Dark Zero, where they did have to go all the way to a third map, and they almost also took DC to overtime on the map that they did lose against them on Chalet. So Geekay might not be the biggest name around the block right now, but they are building them a name for themselves, a brand, and of course, teams are not underestimating them because they know they are a real deal.
Yeah, they can, and here's the big thing, right? They can shoot straight.
They certainly can.
And it's on full display right there. G2, that whole strategy, Nick, was we want to go pound for pound, gunfight for gunfight, fist for fist, and see what happens. And hey, sometimes it just doesn't go the way that you exactly want it to. We are going to have a little bit of an adjustment here in the lineup from G2. Then just going to bring in the Blackbeard. We've been seeing more play out of this operator, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. G2 might have the highest pick rate on Blackbeard arguably this tournament so far. I mean, and it's just like, I can't tell they're trolling, if they're serious, if they're bored, you know, because like, how often do you want to play Blackbeard and actually make it work? It's frustrating, and typically people do not play this operator on land build because, you know, you have a shield that blocks bullets, but the server is so quick, so precise with 0 ping because we're on land. That shield doesn't protect you as much as online play, but still, there are certain positions where Blackbeard will shine. On a window rappel, on a crouch angle, etc. where you can, you know, protect yourself, you know, most of your body, so to speak. And when you're somebody like Benjamaster with a very quick reaction time, you will often win that gunfight just because you can survive one headshot and they can't.
Exactly. Got to protect the important bits. It's your head in Rainbow Six Siege. That one-shot headshot, man, it's nothing to trifle with. Benja, considering that. Love the window repel here, Nick. He's going to hold things across game. If anybody wants to try and flirt with this, they're more than likely dead. He hasn't even opened up the window yet, so they have no idea what's going on here. They have some adjustments coming over on the far side. Going to be applying a couple Kiba barriers, but the Rotero drones will be good for that.
Yeah, and G2 are so quick here. Already like destroying most of the self-destruction below, going in the bomb site. When Benji gets the call in the red ping, which he got right there, he'll punch the window, cut off the bomb site, sort of in half, but the Kiba barrier is going to block his line of sight. And there we saw the shield tanking those bullets.
Saving his life right there, as those could have been the deciding factor for that cross angle for G2. They're going to start to open things up on the dorm side. I really like these angles that Alamau is adapting into the strategy here, making it really difficult for Seriously to try and persist. Alamau's actually going to find one as well, so Shome will go down, so those Kiba barriers now to the wayside. But you're going to continue to occupy this, and that SR-25, Nick, even if he doesn't get the headshot, can just do some damage.
Yeah, we got to see here. G2, they're waiting for the move in right now. Doki and Uno together on the big window, but that trade right there, that might be the telltale sign. They got to go soon because things are falling apart for the defense here.
You have to watch these stuns and smokes. If they try and play these too aggressively here, Seriously could make a big play. That's really what they have in their pocket. He's stuck at the back here. Alamau was dealt with down low, but they still have all of these angles that could be adopted in once again. And it looks like they're going to try and go for that, and Virtue with a nice find. He'll take out Seriously. Noodle's blind inside a pit. Can't see too much. He'll find the first one, though, as they won't hop in time. And Benja, he's saved by the shield. Like you said, Nick, sometimes all you need is just for it to stop that one round. Yep. That's all it took.
That really is it. Both shields getting high value from Benjamaster, and the impressive part here is just how quickly G2 were able to get into the building and set things up. And that's likely because there's no solos in active play right now for Geekay. So the prep drones right now in the prep phase are getting so much intel. This area is clear, that area is clear. Alamau sprint on him with the box, start tearing that floor apart. And while he does that, the rest of G2, they set up outside the building, holding down the flank spot on white stairs. Benji on the window rappel, 2 people big window, and they have everything that they care about on lockdown. Yeah, there's nobody in big tower or attic necessarily, but they don't need that. They don't care about that. They got like a small portion of the map, and it was a very surgical, precise attacking round.
Yeah, but what else would you expect of the G2? They always hit those very pivotal spots around the map, and they're going to try and garner as much control of those as possible, and abuse it to the fullest extent. That's exactly what we saw. Alamau opens the entirety of the ceiling of kitchen right up into dorms, and yeah, he only gets one and gets traded out, but that allows them to readjust things and put some other players down there because his job's already done. Yeah. So very well thought out from G2. They're practically making dorms unplayable in that position.
No, exactly. It's not even just about getting the kills, but about limiting mobility of the opponent. With Benji on window rappel and the floor being broken inside of Kid's dorms, you as a defender just don't have a lot of playable positions any longer. You're being pushed further back in towards the bomb side. What's a bigger surprise than that, though, is that they're going straight back to Kid's dorms despite losing, and G2 will do this classic thing of, well, what we did last round worked, and now they're gonna like be ready for it. So it's changed the entire attack and approach. You see Doki in 20 seconds inside a big tower, taking good map control, sprinting down the staircase, and again asserting dominance. Trix is on the Solus, but now because G2 is so spread out apart the entire map now, Solus doesn't get to roam around for free.
Yeah, and this is what we always highlight when it comes to our top echelon teams in Rainbow Six Siege. Their ability to deal with a site in multiple different avenues. Sometimes starting off with a certain look and then finishing somewhere else. Just really never know how things are going to go, and that's why that info game is so very important for both respective sides. Trix, trying to work his way here into classroom. The beauty of Solus, Bengi, is that you can always check on those drones in case somebody's around you. So, be able to flirt with death a little bit more than others might be capable of.
Well, let's see if Benja has the game sense here, because if you want to... Oh, he's not going to walk into the lobby outside. If you walk into the lobby door, don't take your clothes left in the schoolroom, then all of a sudden you might just die. But he's going to go on the balcony instead. Of course, his priority right now is holding that feet angle below the doorway. for trophy and then see if they can breach that master bedroom closet wall later on. But has shown this aggressive hold into Armory. Will give it up. It seems like Geekay, when the pressure gets applied to them, they often will fall back rather than fight it out. So they're giving up some map control here for free.
Okay. He's actually been down all the way over in T2 of Big Tower. Not going to get confirmed, though. Seriously, sends some shots down range, but most definitely not going to find his target. A blood trail over to Doki as Uno's waiting somebody to try and hit this flank, but doesn't have to worry too much as everybody's actually over in sight minus Trix. He's going to potentially try and work his way up Armory here. Oh, this cross, the Candela out. Although he did not know Trix was there, it definitely messed with him quite a bit on that rotation.
But they have no idea, so Trix, the right timing, could easily get a free pick into Armory, but he has to make a smart decision here. If you start shooting too early, use an impact when he's going to give it away, but look at this. He's crossed, he has no idea that the pass is crosshair.
A little antsy on this one. He's going to try and swing in, but a nice find from Benja. Didn't get him initially there as he did hop up top, but able to find him later on in the round instead. And a great discovery from him on that flank. 3 remain for Geekay now. Salam out. Make sure that he can assist with this Dorms play here. Benja doing his damnedest to try and lock things up over on White. Alamau find another one. Noodle's been forced back inside of Dorms. Does still have that assistance on White stairs, and Nishon will at least find one, but the plant's going to go off. And this post plant is looking pretty difficult for Geekay. Nishon now and has to try and swing through. Lots of shots on, but it's going to tag Noodle. Alamau for the last as well, and G2 looking indomitable in these last 2 rounds.
I mean, the best teams in the world, what they can do is they can change between...
Maybe there was more than one.
Don't get a bit surprised there about the health bars or something, I'm not sure.
He's a little disappointed about how that ended up going down there on that OHP fight. We'll have to get a bit of a look back at that. Actually, we don't even get it. We just get the execution here. Doki died too early. Try a little harder next time, Doki Stomp. Beautiful find there from Alamau. That's a sneaky corner, isn't it?
No, it is. It's a very deep corner indeed. I was going to say the best teams in the world, they can change between different attacking styles on the fly. First round, on the Kid Storm's attack, it was D2 with like 4 or 5 people doing the same very similar push, all working towards that big window entry point with the vert control, of course. And this time, they're playing big window, they're playing master bedroom, they're playing big tower. They're completely rotating around the building. It's pretty much a good example of like the old style of Siege being 5-4 people on one side of the map doing very little versus the new style of Siege, which we call split theory, where
blah, 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 split theory, blah, blah, blah.
I hate that term actually, right? Because why is it a theory, right?
Yeah,
but the split play style, it's like you're very much in very different positions, more isolated, more alone. That's why we saw on some parts of the map there were no trades for G2, but then what their main point was the attic entry. Unu and Anima was there to help one another. So you have a lot of single elements, and then you have like one group together that's gonna be like diffuser carrier, and of course the guy helping out.
Absolutely. Well, the key thing is when you consider this as well is it's all about value. Value in the positioning of the map, value in what you're losing and garnering from your opposing team. And if those things balance out in your favor, even if you're losing bodies, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So that's really what that's based on. As long as you can try and maintain those nice crosses or get somebody to make an improper move. They might have gotten a pick earlier, but if you get 2, right back on the other foot. Alamau, he's feeling himself right now. Team captain for G2. Getting a little overzealous there for a split second, but really anything dealt to him. That was just the first Logi bomb. Kind of like the aggressive look off of that.
Yeah, it's right now it's about limit testing, right? How fast and how far can we go before we're met with some sort of fire back or some map presence? And again, it just means D2, they get full room clear within a minute. And I usually say, commentating these games, okay, if you start breaching those hatches about 1 minute 45 seconds, you're going pretty quick here in Oregon. The only thing is, while D2 has a lot of map control, they have no heart breach. So they're in the building, but they can't do much with that due to the operator lineup. There's no can opener, secondary heart breach gadget, so this will be a brute force of a round, and usually would expect a Monty, something to help you get down a staircase, get in towards the bomb site. G2 also do not have a shield operator, so they gotta do the 5v5 pure gun fracking capability here because they don't have many tools to work with.
Seems like they want to try and set up a few angles here for the stairwells. Potentially, maybe down the line, get some freezer control. To see about that one, but for all intents and purposes, this does rest on the morals of virtue.
I'm not sure if they messed up. I mean, there's no way you attack basement without a heart breach, right? Of any capabilities. It's like, surely somebody forgot something.
Hey man, I'm just a caster. All right.
You know what? I'm gonna DM Doki. I'll just be like, Doki, did you intend to not have any heartbreaks? And if he says yes, I'm gonna be like, classic Doki, you know?
Yeah, I'd be like, there's no way. The Doki messaged me tomorrow. I'll be like, Stokes, you dumb.
Yeah. You didn't get it, man. We need better guns for this.
Exactly. He's like, we were just gonna shoot him. Why would you say that? Smoke's out there for Key. Doing a good job of delaying things. Both of these teams very respectful right now. Geekay does not want to overplay their hand, and why would you? I mean, if you give G2 an inch, they're going to take a mile. Doki's moving in. They're going to hear this damage taking onto Doki, so they should be trying to cover this. Virtue down now, and that's a huge deal, Nick. That's all the EE1D's gone.
Yeah, it is. And again, the discipline now from GK just holding back, not overstepping their terms there, besides Trix getting a little bit too cocky, but it's working for them. They're finding 2 kills already.
Oh, nice little shot there from Doki, though. Be able to find Key. We'll be able to find the second one, though. I don't know if he knows this guy's inside of HP. We're about to find out. Noodle, he's living under the stairwell. He's going to get 2, but Benja, he's gotten it down into the 1 versus 1. And what else would you expect but a triple kill out of him? A second remains. He doesn't have time. And Geekay with round 4. It's 2-2 in between these two.
I didn't even realize it was all the way down to a 1v1. It was like complete chaos. Everyone just died in like 2 seconds. And of course, it's Benji Master again, seriously, which would have been a phenomenal gunfight, but there's just not enough time. The players don't get to duke it out in the server. The timer hits 0. Defenders, they win. But the discipline from GK realizing, hey, they're not breaching any hatches. They're not really on any staircases. Something is weird about this, and they had a lot of people towards that back staircase. You know, big tower, blue double door walk in, and it really paid off. Noodle hiding here on Harry Potter below the staircase itself. G2 not expecting those positions, but also, as we mentioned earlier, when you don't have Heartbreach, it's not an ideal scenario to attack that bomb site.
Yep. Sometimes in those scenarios, Pengy, you just got to give them enough space to do it to themselves.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's exactly what happened right there. Geekay making sure that they weren't overzealous in that situation. G2 obviously making an error inside of the operator selection there. They definitely needed some hatch control in that regard. But I digress. I'm going to head over towards kitchen and meeting now here to see what G2 can do with this. And we are going to have breaching this time. I know you're shocked. It's going to be on Doki here with Ace.
I mean, I was seeing LML Blitz play for a second there, and I was going to ask you, like, one of my favorite operators to like watch to play is like Blitz, Monty, etc. What's one of your favorite things on attack to see?
Man, that's a really good question.
Yeah, it's hard, right? There's a lot of options here.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, give me this round. I'll come back.
You can go back to me about it. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was saying about the Blitz because we know LML likes to like get in there, like entry for his team, Doki follows, etc. A lot of chaos, but they think differently of that, and they're gonna go with a more standard lineup. But they will get the opening kill onto seriously the quote-unquote main gunner for his team in this specific instance. But there's always a trade back somewhere else, an injure, a lot of damage, or even a kill and an injure from GK.
This one onto Uno as well. So, I mean, Uno trying to make a play off of that Logi bomb is still ringing in the pocket of one of the defenders there, but he's down. Pure Gas getting to Doki here, and it's going to force him back. Virtue's at least going to be able to get across and pick up Alamau. They're a little worried that they're aware that Alamau has been down, so going to try and play this out just for a moment before things end up going down. And honestly, to answer your question before...
Wait.
Thought he was going to try and push up there, but yeah, to answer your question, honestly, it's got to be active play on Split Theory. I know we hate using that word, but whenever you see like the entries hop in there and they have that kill box set up and they kind of get to work their space, that's what I love a lot, because one of my favorite players of all time, Pengy, has to be Nesk. And Nesk is so very good on those entries and finding those frags, and it's just something that has always made me have a big smile when watching Rainbow Six Siege. So, Geekay out, or rather Geekay up in the man position here. Oregon defense looking swell as of right now.
Yeah, I mean, they got the vertical control. They're locking down the angles. G2, they're near the bomb site. I believe Virtue even inside of it, but they don't have enough control here. But Benji just walks in, doesn't care about the vertical play, gets the opening kill, and now has to figure out what's the entry path for me. He has diffuser. He has to be escorted somehow, some way in towards that kitchen bomb side.
Too much utility to support this either. Got some flashes, but Bench is going to start slamming this thing down. Needs some assistance here just on the crosses, but they've already got that implemented. Noodle's not going to be able to stop this, and the plan goes off without a hitch. Nice shot there from Virtue. Is traded immediately from Key as Benji will die. 2 versus 2 now, but this is not looking too hot for Geekay. Smoke trapped inside a green hall, working his way over towards the stage stairs. Does have one over on the split side. This is just going to be Virtue, playing so very patiently. As we all know, in these positions, shoes on the other foot. Offense is defense, defense is offense. Nice little rotation here, and he's got the vertical control. This round is all but done, as long as they don't overswing things. Doki's got that nice verticality. Nobody can really stop him. He's actually just going to drop into sight as well. Virtue gets a triple kill. Shotgun in hand for Noodle. He's going to try and swing through. Might be able to find one in split, and he will. We all know the M590 runs off dreams, but that dream is going to quickly be brought back down to reality as G2 get their third round.
Bit of a puzzling round there for Noodle. He's up above inside of Kid Storms, right above the bomb site, and Benji just literally plants for free. You have a shotgun, he had a C4, and he just couldn't figure out where Benja was planting at. But if you look at the other players on the defensive side, he only really had 1 or 2 options to plant. Oh, that's how he died early.
Yeah, that would have been my face too.
Sometimes you get got. And there it is, yeah, the frustration a bit. But yeah, like, we only have like 1 or 2 obvious places to plant it because your teammates are inside a meeting, they got those like long lines of sight. Noodle should have had the read there that Benja was gonna go plant in that exact position, open up the floor with the shotgun, and then get that kill because no one from G2 was above to contest it. So, lack of intel there from Geekay, really punishing them.
All right. Love it, love it, love the energy out of G2 here. You know, you gotta have that good mentality, man, because when things go wrong in Siege, it's already pretty serious, right? So you gotta have some good camaraderie going on for the team.
Yeah, certainly it's with all the things you have to account for as a player, the gadgetries, you know, you can dive through walls, like one-shot headshot through a wall, etc. If you have like a negative attitude in a team or a negative environment, plus the game is like kind of, you know, hard to deal with sometimes, like the way you die, goo mines, elements, etc. You need to have happy people in the team. Being like, hey guys, it's fine, woo, look at me, you know? Having a prankster. And G2 has gone through a lot of roster iterations for the last like 2 or 3 years. But there's been a mix. Oh, hold tight. We said good teammates, happy days here, not team killing, basically, team damage being done. But the current iteration, it's funny because they are a bunch of goofy people, but they're also like, they want to be the villains at the same time. So they talk their smack, they play in the server, and they do a lot of funky stuff.
Yeah. Very entertaining bunch, I can tell you that. So Bailiff move here, trying to make some rotations as well as a line of sight over towards the kitchen area. Got Nomad in 2 here for Benja as he has been on a carousel of operators on this offensive front.
Yep, I mean, we always say good players can flex, and Benja is like, you know what, I can play other operators than Blackbeard, you know?
He's got them biceps.
That too.
Flexing all over the competition.
Changing mags!
Doki trying to slide a few rounds through there. Not too many people around the space though. Trix is currently hiding behind a box inside of security. Just trying to keep himself alive for as long as humanly possible. Be able to get rid of one of those gas producing. This is a utility. Uno. Trying to see if anybody wants to try and give it up to them. A one-man show, or rather one front assault here, all except for Alamau on the far end as he's trying to work his way upstairs. But these sound cues are going to start working into the defensive favor here. Another Logi bomb out, so things more than likely going to start to get a little aggressive. B's out here, able to at least discover one on the top floor. Alamau will be able to take down one. Does he know that this guy's inside of dorms, though? Runs on through, SMG-11 in hand. That Logi bomb doing wonders, but he won't be able to find the kill. Should be able to find him under the bed. Yep, got those toesies. Got the dogs out, and unfortunately they've been put down. 2v3, Virtue, Nuno. G2 at least got some semblance of control, but as soon as I say that, we get another fold producing on top of main stairs as Geekay have one in the wings.
There's a lot of things happening in that round, and I mean, it's 2 minutes of pure action basically here, and it's not even done yet. Virtue is above, has the skeleton key, can destroy the floor, but they still think someone's roaming above, and they're not entirely wrong. You saw that Armory Trophy side, waiting for the right time to flank. Good read here from Virtue, but can't land the shots, can't quite connect. Uno still waiting to be activated right now, just kind of lingering small tower, approaching that bomb side. But G2, they're lacking critical info on their flank, so Virtue is not entirely safe. It's a matter of timing and reading the situation here. Shown, that's a very risky play.
15 seconds to
Oh,
go.
gonna run through. Virtue's gonna go down. It's a 1 versus 3. Uno, a snowball's chance in hell right there. There's so many separate angles. You have the verticality working its way in there too that they could potentially try and bring in, but it's hard fought from both of these respective squads. It's going to be a 3-3 half here. And honestly, with the way that things have been trending at this land, G2 in the favorable position right now, they've tied things up.
Yeah, just to throw some numbers in there, When G2 played against Fearx in Oregon, they lost a total of 0 defensive rounds. Granted, they did start attack, but then they went defense after, but like 3 or 4 defensive rounds, all won. Against NIP, 0 defensive rounds lost on Clubhouse. So they have played 2 maps with 0 defensive round losses. Now they're going Oregon defense, already winning 3 on the attacking side, and they're starting on the basement bomb side. Statistically, G2 are doing really well getting 3 attacking rounds.
One of the defenses here. This operator lineup for G2, I'm really liking, especially the mute jammers coming in here.
Oh yeah.
Everybody, when they consider the mute jammers, Pengy, they always think about muting, drones, muting walls up. But the one thing about him is that you got to worry for those Dokkaebi logic bombs as well. So if they bring, Doki back into the fold here, definitely a way you can get rid of those too. Well, you don't have that thing ringing in your pocket constantly. And actually, another operator here that's really going to help with those Rotero drones. They're going to have to try and avoid those at any cost.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of operators on attack this particular bomb set of basement Oregon. It's about forcing movement on the defenders. Lion, Dokkaebi, the Rotero drones from floors, etc. All trying to make you stand still in a bad position or force you to move into a separate position. The mute jammers will help with all of those problems like you mentioned. This first drone will hit the door frame and it won't get anything done. But even if it enters that double door, there is a mute jammer behind the shield to stop it. So Uno right now and Alamao together just kind of wasting time on that portion of the map, and Geekay not being super proactive right now. I don't even think they know there's a jammer there because they didn't cross the door yet.
Oh, very well done from Uno. That's one thing that a lot of people mess up on. They don't play their shields actively enough, or I will say some people do it a little bit too much and just die, but that's the proper respect right there. Well done, Uno. Doesn't overswing. Got that first one. Mute jammer for that one. And obviously what we saw previously. So Hashom has wasted 3 out of 4 of the Rotero drones. In this situation, we're not even halfway through the round.
And that's the thing. Most teams will go out to that double door blue first to clear that shield so that later in the round it's already dealt with. You buy that time early so that you don't got to do it later. But by G2 denying that shield from getting destroyed, all of a sudden blue double door take is not going to be possible later in that round. He will trade out. He has 1 point of HP but takes down Benji the Kaid. But those Kite Claws already positioned downstairs. So all G2 they lose here is of course the gun of Benji Master and a single C4. But Ki and the Ying is going to have a hard time entering now with just 1 HP.
They're definitely going to need these impact EMPs here pretty soon to be able to try and solve this puzzle as this timer continues to dwindle. That's the one thing that becomes worrisome on this basement site. You really do not want to start hitting this thing with minimal time, otherwise we saw exactly what can go down earlier in this game. Doki playing actively on the tower stairs. I really love how G2 is trying to keep Geekay at the gates.
Yeah. A lot of teams, they'll play really passive on side, just give them all the space. G2, no, they are up there and they're wasting so much time. I said before, if you breach the meeting hatch at 1 minute 45, you're in a pretty good pace. They've started opening it with Maverick at like 50 seconds left. So this hatch gonna take a while. Noodle falls in the midst of that. Alamao's in the flank now. Chaos in the server. Geekay struggling in this round.
Beautifully done there. Keeping that active play over on the other portions of the map whilst you're also working on that meeting hatch. It's all about pulling pressure. 30 seconds. What they're doing, trying to keep those eyes darting back and forth for the defensive end. Now, this 4 versus 4. A few low HP bodies on each respective side. Uno, he's getting aggressive. That suppressor is shown. It might help you out a little bit, but oh my God! Uno! Right into the flames. 1 mag out of the MP7. He just eats them alive.
It really isn't a discussion for performance because both Uno and Virtue are up there, both performing, both being very quick, and decision making here is so important. You said it before, Samuel, when you gotta play that shield, yeah, you gotta swing actively and, find some information, but don't overswing till it's the right moment. He saw that gun barrel, like you mentioned, and just goes for it, full commitment, instantly, 183 flicks here, covers the hatch, here's the Candela, and picks up both the members that are about to drop the hatch, and that is the shutdown of the entire attack in opposition here from Geekay.
Listen, if you're newer to Siege and you need guns on defense, anything that says MP in the name, I promise you, MPX, MP7, it doesn't matter. Like, they're just all stellar guns, man. Stellar guns. Oh, Alamao.
Oh, I've not seen an Ella personally. I gotta get some water.
Okay, brother. No worries at all. No, I will definitely agree with you on that as well. And not only that, but with the semi-auto shotgun, a absolute classic in Rainbow Six Siege. You can say the same thing about Ella, but for some pretty bad reasons. She was absolutely insane. She's still pretty good, as those Griswold mines are pretty annoying to deal with. That was in your list earlier of things that are kind of, you know, difficult in the moment when you run in, you're trying to get those entry kills, and all of a sudden you can't see anything.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how this works out for them. Definitely like that shotgun, though, from Alamau. This is going to allow them to play some pretty interesting positions and deal with these offenders very quickly if they end up swinging him improperly.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, okay, you hear Ella's shotgun, you just don't want to go anywhere near it, right? If that operator is playing, like, white staircase, yeah, you're going armory style. Like, you're going to go as far as possible.
You can have that.
Exactly. Staircase and shotguns? No. Don't want any of that. Doki aggressing now. This is smart. So they've jammed off the closet, shield on the bed. A key barrier and pocket of Doki can be positioned here. It's hard to drone out his exact position. So either GK has to like face check with their heads, just like walking in there and taking a fight, or they gotta drone things up. Those cameras will stop them. Even the bees will be stopped.
This is such a beautiful setup from G2. Doki, right? Yeah, Doki right in the corner. This is another one of those things. You use utility properly in this game, it's so annoying to try and deal with. The constant Kiva barriers on the door. Just keep your eyes on that timer, folks. All G2 has to do is make sure that this flank from main stairs doesn't come in here and punish Doki, and they can continue to hold on to this. But now, some other folds starting to work their way in. Alamau don't exactly know where that bout went down, but he's going to lose it nevertheless. Nice little swing here from Doki. He knows that one's here, and he's actually going to hightail it out of there. They've wasted half the round with this strategy.
Shane knows in that window repel from Generator could have stopped Doki from falling back towards the box, because now he'll punish them back immediately down to a 4v4. Might want to try and reinforce the ball, but no, get out of there. Grenade comes flying, Floorstone follows as well. Doki is fighting the entire server right now.
Oh man, his understanding of when and how he can swing things on what angles has always just blown me away. He knows that Geekay thinks that he's still over at Master. He takes the swing over on the closet, but now Benja, the swing here from the mirror window. Noodle's gonna swing in as well, but he should be marked pretty soon here as they've got some info coming off of this mirror window, and he's sending some shots too. Benja hasn't actually made contact with him just yet. No eyes on situation, but he'll see the gritty now. Oh, what a shot out of Noodle. A great prediction. It's a 2 versus 2 now, but Virtue, he's got it set up, and he's gonna blow Noodle sky high. It's down to Seriously on the gridlock. A lot of health on this op. Takes some pretty decent gunfights, but not anymore. Poor Seriously. A lot of damage dealt to him, and G2 just need to adhere to the strategy now, Pengu.
Yeah, and it's no discipline, right? He's not gonna overswing. He's gonna sit back and use this strong position and just let Virtue do the work properly.
Absolutely. So quick in here, but should be found. Yep, Virtue will sweep that one under the rug. And more and more we see this, more and more it's looking like G2's defensive run is going to continue. And I just have to sing Doki's praises from the mountaintops right there.
Yeah.
Utility play, gunplay, understanding of what the offense wants, and punishing it every single step of the way.
Yeah.
Beautifully done. I mean, what else can you say?
I was gonna say, because like Alamau was supposed to help him. It's a two-man situation. Alamau died really early in that round. You're thinking now because he's dead, Doki is in a terrible position, and he's weaving and bobbing, weaving and moving, right, getting out, getting in, and somehow getting kills, staying alive, and he burned so much time, like you brought up. Look at the timer. It was like 1 minute 20 seconds, I think. That's when Doki died. That's when Geekay, the first room they focused on was Master Bedroom where Doki was. And it took them over a full minute and a half to finally get control over that room.
Yeah, and it's like the conversation we were having earlier about value, right? I mean, you waste all that time, you're keeping one of the most pivotal areas of the map secure as well, and then on top of that, Doki kills multiple people here.
Yep.
Look at how much Geekay is losing, all because Doki decided that he wanted to play that situation out the way that it did. Truly, truly incredible. That's why G2 are 2 rounds over Geekay right now.
There is a world in which Doki doesn't swing for the third and maybe even lives that and can fall back to side, but when you're feeling it, you're feeling it.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, he's
We've
not
all
supposed,
been there.
Exactly. He's not supposed to have made that play, so like, can we really fault him for actually going for that third kill? I don't know, man.
Yeah. If it was up to me, I'm definitely giving him the pass on that one.
Right?
You've done your job, and if we lose the round, it is not your fault. It is 100%.
There are other players in this team.
Exactly. You can't look across the board and be like, oh, well, Virtue and Benja are still up and all this kind of stuff. There's just so many incredible people in the squad. It's actually insane what G2 have brought to bear here in the last year.
5 seconds to go.
We'll say the Noodle Silent Killer, 10 kills to his name.
Attacker's objective
Kind
is to
of caught
defuse
me
the
by
bomb.
surprise when I checked last round. I was like, I don't remember Noodle getting all those kills, but of course, if you just get, you know, one every single round, this is round number 9 that we're entering, you would be on like those 8, 9, 10 kills area. And Geekay has been mostly a full team performance, has shown a little bit behind here on only 3 kills, but also playing more supportive roles here. For example, now currently on the Brava, gonna deny utility, gain some intel, and someone's gotta do it. When you're attacking an Organ, opening kill is pretty important. They got it last round against Alamau, but you need to get that opening kill and get something with it. Some map control, some bomb site pressure, etc. Getting a kill because the enemy's like running into your crosshairs. Yeah, you're playing 5 versus 4, but you can't really necessarily turn it into much else unless you're acting upon it. So I want to see Geekay a little bit more proactive and more importantly, a little bit quicker. And this right here is a decent start to that.
Absolutely. This is going to be the Kitchen Cafe defense. This is that site that, if you guys remember, all the way at the very beginning, we were talking about map stats. It actually doesn't have a win yet. So G2, is this going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, where they finally lose their defensive record across the last, now 3 maps?
I was going to say, yeah. And we know it's G2. They saw that statistic. They heard you say that, like, we're gonna prove you that this bomb set is winnable. We'll do that ourselves right here. Watch us, Samuel. And they're gonna try it. They're holding upstairs, of course. You have to extend around the map, and this will be the floor above the bomb site. Kid Storm, big window area, wide staircase. It's gonna be Doki-san and Alamau helping one another with a crossfire, and they need to hold onto this position for as long as possible.
Oh, Alamau, the jiggle peek. Something that is practically a requirement mechanics for Rainbow Six. You got to have that nice little shoulder lean there. Get a little info on that, but even then, sometimes that can get punished, especially on land. Doki looking for it himself, but not able to find it. Trying to keep that movement speed up by ADSing when he swings, but Key just too damn good to be able to lop his head right off. Alamau's going to don the top white stairs to the pre-fire, though. Won't be able to find much, and he's going for more. Let's keep a barrier down, so he's got a little bit of cover for himself, but seem like too much is going to go his way. Virtue now flirting with death here, and he's actually going to meet it as Tashom will be able to find him inside of small tower. Now G2, very first time on defense, looking worse for wear. Trying to solve this puzzle now with 37 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of lack of patience there. Doki didn't have to swing. Alamau kind of sold Doki as well. Didn't help him on the wide stair because he actually fell back down and let Doki play alone upstairs. And now Virtue's bringing small towers. So if G2 waited 20, 30 seconds longer, the time right now would be really bad for Geekay. But they got those 2 kills. They got upstairs control. And now G2, they got to play retakes. They got to seek those engagements. Unu starts it off, finding 1. But Geekay, you're going main lobby. There's only 10 seconds left. Where are you going?
10 seconds remaining. Hashom, you got to get something done here. He'll find Alamau, but now they know he's inside of Shower. Benja gets 1, and this is the issue. You have to try and stop Benja and Uno here. At least Hashom's going to have the cross, but Benja, he's too damn good. I knew he'd check, but Key's back up. Oh, no! This is the most worrisome thing about that weapon. Oh, no, the Roni. It sells him out. Thing's got less bullets in the SMG-11, my friend.
It does. 16 bullets. That is 1 less than SMG-11. Lowest bullet count. Sure, high fire rate, good damage, headshot machine, but he couldn't cover his teammate, and therefore Uno died because of it. Disaster in the server for G2. Alamau sprinting down the shower hallway next to Hashom. He had no idea somebody was playing in that position, and G2 will lose that round. But to be fair, it never should have been theirs to begin with. It was them playing 3 versus 5, but Geekay really not managing the clock here, rotating to main lobby with 14 seconds left. They are so far from the bomb site itself. It is a miracle they're able to even plant in the first place.
Absolutely. And I really want to back it up to kind of that interaction between Doki and Alamau on the stairs, because that's really where things started to fall apart for G2. In my personal opinion, it's mostly because they were a little, you know, just the patience wasn't there. A little bit of an overswing. Alamau didn't really want to stick around for white stairs. It feels like if they just stick to the game plan there and, you know, Doki allows them to try and push through on that cross, that's a big moment that could have won them around.
Yeah, I was going to say either Alamau falls back and says, Doki, hey, let's peel off. He drops the hatch. Alamau goes down the staircase. Or he says, Doki says, LML, hey, stay with me. I'm gonna go for a swing. You play together. But there was this big disconnect where one guy ran away, kind of scared, if you will, or tactically retreating, and Doki's like, I'm gonna white swing the door. It's like, guys, on the same page here, come on.
Exactly. That's where the communication sometimes can go awry. Even on one of the best teams in the entire world, Uno.
Did he?
That was actually Dose, by the way, but Uno.
I think he ran out of blue double door into construction. He's got 2 kills. Phenomenal stuff there. Like,
Oh, wow, mid-round
my God.
replay. I love you guys. Oh my God. Yo, production, pat on the head for that. That was amazing.
Oh man, that is just disgusting. I mean, this like, you don't expect that as an attacker, right? That's your turf, that is your area. Uno says, you throw a flashbang, you're never gonna see this coming. Wait, whoop. He loves making those plays. I mean, Uno originally, he was an Ashe main, back on the stream, back in, ends. He was the entry. He's had a lot of different roles, a lot of different jobs throughout his career, but on G2 with his current roster, he's also able to be more of himself. When he wants to get the freedom to go for those kind of plays, he can. He's no longer like on a leash like in the past, and Uno has a really smart mind for Siege. He knows those timings, and it showed off right there.
You want to use everything inside of somebody's arsenal inside of Rainbow Six Siege. You don't want somebody to be a one-trick pony. You don't want to try and pigeonhole somebody into doing something. And that's exactly what G2 has done here. Everybody across the board, they get their moment in the sunlight, don't they? And it's beautiful to watch. Things like that where the whole team trusts Uno in that regard. A little bit of damage dealt to Noodle, but it's not going to do very much because it's obviously explosive. They go straight down. Nice trade there from Alamau. What a find. Seriously, he'll take down Benja. Alamau, do you want this? This feels like a ill-advised peek. Something that could knock them down into 2 versus 2. He's gonna pop the other Goyo. Those ones inside of Laundry, but obviously that canister is gonna keep him at the gates for a while.
Yep, those Goyo canisters, that's a problem. Beast goes up, but Key, you can't really act upon this right now because the fire is still there for 20 seconds total timing. Uno, we said it earlier, has a good read for things. He's in a prime position here. He might get spotted out. If he does, he can just stick this corner because he is the anchor between the bomb site and his teammates as well as the opponents.
Fine there from Seriously. This 417, it's just so dastardly. Yeah, it's a headshot, but again, even with these DMRs, if you hit them in the body, they're losing practically half their HP every single time. Key, no more B's to his name. Trying to put him inside of the Nicolas Cage now. Oki has that pillar position locked up. Alamau, big fight here, and he's going to win it up against Key. He just has to play patient. We're in the same situation as Top White. Alamau, he's going to swing with the M590. And Nick, I saw your shoulder. I saw that. Hey, I'm in the same boat right now, man. They just need to play this cross, and Doki is going to get it done. I do like the fact that Alamau, just in the last second there, though, did get that little just pre-fire swing as well.
Yeah.
That very, very well done. The first one.
Yeah, I'm like, if he dies there, he's looking at 1v1, he's pre-fireable. It's like, this is how it falls apart because a clutch often happens by your opponent giving you a little bit of space, making a small mistake. I like that they fixed the previous problems that they had.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you and I both saw the bridge that was coming, and we were like, oh no, please, not again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, we gotta take an exit ramp or something here, but G2. Nice little find there, and Doki with some beautiful shots. Way to just consistently find the angle. That's what I love there. He sends those shots down range on the right side, immediately works his way to the left in case he wants to try and work his way back through Freezer. Ends up finding him there, keeping Alamau alive as long as possible. See those more aggressive tendencies once again too, but obviously able to keep this one well reined in. G2 on match point here as they've only lost 1 defensive round thus far.
I was gonna say, none are flawless, and I watched that Kitchen Bombs that has yet to have a single victory, so statistically, it's just a nightmare. You don't want to go there. That's your fault, your mistake. But they've learned since then. No more tertiary shenanigans. They're staying true to like the true bomb site rotation here. Basement, Kid Storms, tertiary, might be a loss, whatever. Rinse, repeat into victory, right? When you win 3 attacking rounds on the first half, as G2 did, you set yourself up for all you gotta do really is win the primary and secondary bomb site, and you will win 7-4, 7-5 based on the exact rotation. It's perfect, really.
Yeah, most definitely. A bit of a change up in strategy here for G2 as well. If y'all remember, Alamau did have that Echo, did have the Gershmans the last time, and Doki. What did he? Was that double? Was that front double?
It might have been.
Oh my, and not only that, but it's a Show'em down as well.
Yeah,
what I was trying to get at is we don't have the Ella here, so you don't have to worry about that shotgun or anything. The mute's in now to try and delay a little bit of utility. Oh my,
no.
He's prone on the main stairs. Oh, yo, I'm sorry, Geekay. I'm gonna have to call you out for this one. We're not droning, we're not logic bombing, we're just walking in.
If Dokkaebi makes that kind of play, surely you the call first, right? Because you would hear Doki in that position, but instead, Hashom gets bumpy, glanced on the line, this run on Dokkaebi, those global gadgets not available for GK, and that's really what they want because you're basically playing 4v5 at this point.
Imagine if we used 100% of the brain. Just imagine what we could do with it, you know? Nice little shots here. Doki, we saw how disgusting he was in a similar position the last time. And I love this, Pengu. This is always a really difficult position to try and sweep out, especially with some barbed wire on the top of the stairs. People just don't really see through it that well. You can find some pretty cheeky kills, but obviously that barbed wire gone here. Try and step up to the plate. Does somebody want to try and take this gunfight? Nitro Cell out. Doki-san, he's going to go down to Key. Very well done with the AK in hand. Continue to add a few different aspects to this defensive setup. Like that little shot there from Almao, just to be able to see the legs of any player that steps up here. Those Bees might be able to work their way through, and they will. They discover him on the other end now, so they'll know that he's more than likely playing right around that reinforcement.
Yeah, those Bees are hard to deal with. Grim, a pretty bannable operator, very playable operator as well. Almao now in the most important position. Nades can't be cooked, but it might be enough to roll in, but no, it's not. Does some damage, does not clear the position. Almao stays alive, and he'll be a problem to deal with on this close wall of close door.
Selma out. Make this position a little bit more difficult for Benja, who has been kind of silent, but not because of his own fault. It's mostly because of Almao and the rest of his team murdering everyone. He's just had to kind of be patient. That's the beauty of Benja. If you'll notice, he is alive a lot of the time. In fact, he's got a 43% survival rating. And Caster's Curse right there, as I did look down at my stats, look up. Benja's dead. That happens. Almao, nice little find there, but a little bit too close to the sun there, my friend. Gonna end up going down. They found a little bit of space here, but these Bees are gonna keep these players back. Close shot, but oh no, a miscalculation out of Virtue. Key on a quad kill now. Nitro Cell out, and oh, it's gonna get him. There's no way, Uno. Is this how you close it down? One remaining. Noodle close. He's got the shotgun in hand. Noodle's gonna have to try and press this. Uno gets it done, and look at that smile. G2 take map 1 here on Oregon.
He had a 1 bullet, he went for it, he hit the shoulder, he was like, oh no. Secondary shotgun, not a great weapon, but you play those close corners, you force the positions, you make it happen. It wasn't a clean Oregon, it wasn't a close final round for G2. They get their map pick as a victory for them.
Absolutely. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you look at this matchup, you know that Geekay are going to want to get scrappy, and I love that G2 matched that energy. Both of these teams trying to utilize things across the board, players, utility, whatever, to try and just get at each other's necks. And, I mean, what more can you want, especially out of a map of Oregon? I mean, sometimes Oregon can be so boring,
I was gonna say,
this game, so much fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I don't mind Oregon as a general map, but whenever it gets, like, really basic, everyone's doing the same thing, hiding a bomb site, it's like, do something fun, please. Almost every single round, something odd happened, something funny happened. That's because both teams, they matched, they set each other's energy.
Yeah, it was beautiful, beautiful sight there. But hey, we're gonna throw you guys to a quick break, and when we're oh, my bad, actually, whoa, let me pump the brakes there. Yeah, I was getting a little ahead of myself. Yeah, my bad. We actually get to talk more about this map, which is exactly what I wanted to do because there are so many different things there that happen, especially with some of the micro plays. You and I talked about what happened on White Stairs, what happened inside of dorms, but there are some other things that happen as well. You know, G2's offensive strategy for the basement where they brought no hard breach. I mean, what did you think of that?
I mean, I don't want to talk about that round, to be honest with you. It's like, that was one of the rounds where, like, please don't do this ever again, but it was fun to see them lose that round, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I will say there's a couple of different other strategies that hopefully we can see brought over into the next map. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to toss you to a quick break, and we're back. We have map 2 on the docket.
Let's go. Can't wait, I need right now. Just watch how I move. Just watch how I move. Hate it or love it, I came in, I pack up the room. I spend all my time in the lab. Grind like I'm getting paid time and a half. Right now. We finally made it. I know that they hate it when cat is right out of the bag. Right now. The timing is right now. Right now. Right now. Just watch how I move. Right now. Right now. Right now. Just watch how I move. Can't wait, I need right now. Just watch how I move. Just watch how I move. Hate it or love it, I came in, I pack up the room. your eyes on the clock. You might miss on your chances to rise if you blink. Got a vision, your way to the top. The chamber alert, attracting the things you deserve. Just know I do this on a regular. The hustle keep calling me up on my cellular. 5 a.m. stuck, hot and the rest of them sleeping. That's why I'm still all the way up. I cannot be top, block, hand on the clock. Marathon running and making no stops. I came from nothing, my days on the block. This is why I just gotta do it. Right now, just watch how I move. Right now, right now, just watch how I move. Can't wait, I need right now. Just watch how I move. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, timing is right now.
G2 Esports secured their own map pick, but what a battle it was. It wasn't necessarily an easy one. Geekay really did put their backs against the wall.
You definitely see the look of victory on their faces as well after that final play. That was really impressive. That was fun to watch for sure. But I think, of course, they had to fight for it because it was a pretty close game after all. Multiple positive things from both sides. But once again, it just comes down to G2 having that really good structure, having those fundamentals very much sorted out for them.
Absolutely. After the game, they were kind of saying this might be the hardest game that we've played so far. And we talked about it a little beforehand. We were like, it's probably because you took GK to Oregon. I mean, the map is just such a linear map, and I think GK put up a good fight, but I think at the end of the day, the individuals from G2 really pulled through.
Yeah, as well, looking at the individual performances from both of these teams, it felt like for G2 side of things, it was genuinely much more of a team effort, whereas when it was from the side of GK, it was individual players stepping up to the plate, which is always what you want to see, but as you mentioned already, you can't rely on heroic plays only.
No, and especially not if the player that is stepping up is one of your main support players, right? Because Key does a lot of support stuff for GK. If he's the one that's top fragging, there's something going structurally wrong.
Yeah, and that's something that we would have to dig into a little bit because we have to go next onto their own map pick. And I think I want to start off with things that went right for GK because at the beginning, they looked so incredibly indestructible and then something didn't go right.
Absolutely, the strength of Oregon defense, but nonetheless, they also had an amazing opening kill start out. They had 6 opening kills, and it looked like every single time they were getting the opening kill, it wasn't really like they were playing bad. They were really tightening up and holding the proper angles. I think G2 just thrives in those man-down situations because they have a lot more room to play with and find those openings, find the equalization. And I mean, G2 in the clutch, whenever it comes to a 2v2 or a 1v1, I feel like more often than not, it's going in G2's favor.
They seem to have a lot of discipline in that regards as well, right? Whereas if you are in a man advantage position, for example, later on into the round, and we'll get to that later too, then they seem to have this good discipline. They're not overzealous, not trying to just go for the clip, go for the play, but make sure that they do eventually win out the round. And that, I think, mainly came down to the fact that GK sometimes were a bit slow on their attacks.
Absolutely. The biggest thing for G2 that they were talking about beforehand is leading up to this event, they really wanted to focus on that discipline whenever they're in man-down situations or man-up situations, not getting overzealous, really playing for the kills and trying to fatten their stats. It was really about just playing smart, and there was a lot of situations, especially on this map that's very linear, where you can get greedy and go for a lot of multi-kills, but they didn't. They really sat back, and they wanted to exploit GK and make them go for those executes, go for those plays, and expose, I guess, the young team that they have, the lack of structure that the team has, and that's what they were aiming for.
Yeah, but we've seen a lot of multi-kills as well, particularly Uno having a highlight of his own in terms of like the performances that they've had from the side of G2. Incredible.
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, this play, once again, as well, very impressive. There are also, that is maybe a thing as well, it seems like GK is letting G2 get away with this. Especially if you do have a man advantage, like you said, when they're getting opening kills, and you're on the attack, you want to make sure you establish that you keep that, and you do, well, then work further towards the side push. But if someone like Uno, for example, steps up massively and basically just picks your team apart like that, that is not good for your round count, but also not good for your mental.
Absolutely. I mean, GK was only limiting one person to kind of isolate these areas, and if the fight doesn't go in your favor, I mean, Uno showed how explosive he was when you just allow him to be in these positions. So even though they were able to capitalize on big plays, GK was kind of allowing that.
Yeah, Map Veto showing once again that we're going to be heading into Chalet, and I want to use this as a pivoting point in terms of focusing on realistically going into that second map from the G2 side of things, and how realistic is it that Uno once again will have one of these lifetime performances where they'll be putting GK's backs against the wall all on his loans himself?
There is a potential. I mean, if we look at the most recent result for G2, they played against x on this map, and that was actually the map that was the closest for that game. It was a 7-5 for G2, so that to me says there are some kind of things exploited, I guess, from G2 that they did wrong on that map, that maybe if GK understand what's going on, that they can capitalize off of those mistakes that G2 made. But then for the side of G2, of course, there is that time ever since they played that game against x to work on those mistakes that they were making.
Yeah, this is do or die for GK to secure some points onto their ladder. So let's head straight into game number 2 as we're ready for Chalet.
Yo, 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 folks, welcome back to the casting desk. We already had a pretty fun Oregon, but now we're headed over to the snow-capped mountains of Chalet. Are you ready, Bengi?
I'm ready. I mean, the thing about this best of three is that you go from Oregon to Chalet to Consulate, and all three maps play out very differently. Oregon, very basic, 1, 2, 3, close together. Chalet, mobile map control being spread out on a stand like mini execute. So what we just saw in Oregon, just forget all about that, and you gotta get into the Chalet mindset now if you are G2 and Geekay, because things will be a different approach for both the defense and the attack.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of the offense spreading things across the map with that quote-unquote split theory, because Chalet really forces that into your hand. I mean, a lot of the one front assaults on this map just do not work out well, so we'll more than likely see a lot of people just trying to set things up for themselves, kind of create that kill box that we talk about every once in a while, and get some active play going in there with a couple supporting angles. So Chalet, this is gonna be his 8th play here today, Nick. We don't know what's going on, obviously, over on Bravo with Border and Clubhouse, but if those haven't been played over there, then things are all tied up in between these 3 maps now. Chalet is currently trending defender-sided, which is kind of a rare side every once in a while for this map. 60% overall defensive win rate. The most won site, Kitchen Dining, at 67%.
Interesting.
Yes, definitely.
Alberta bans very much changed up because both Ying and Grim taken away from action, where they were both played previously in a couple of rounds, especially like Grim Operator, Fenrir. No big surprise here, same with Valkyrie. Most teams, you know, they have this tough decision of, do we want to deal with the Solus, the Asami, or the Fenrir? So like, you gotta make your choices. You be like, okay, we can only remove one, and the other 3 will be open. So what would we like to fight against the most?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think everybody's got their opinions on the powerful defensive operators and who they like to play against the least. My personal opinion, Solus.
I agree.
I will ban Solus every single day of the week. I do not want you getting rid of my drones.
I was gonna say, I don't like the concept that an operator punishes you for playing the game in drone phase, where it's like, if I give you a pro tip, if the Solus is like being played, go on your phone for 20 seconds. Yeah. Because like, if you drone in the building, your drone will die, and that sucks, right? So park it outside where you spawn, pick it up when the round starts, and you have 2 drones. So I agree with you, I think Solus is not fun to play against, but Benji Master, he will say something like this: it's fun to play as Solus because you find 2 or 3 drones. Like right now, they found 3 drones immediately, bang, just like that. And now Ben's like, oh guys, they have no intel. You know, this area is clear, etc. Might find noodles as well.
Attackers are heading
Was
out.
it floor below or above?
No. I thought he got a 4th or an X popped up, but the HUD fixed itself. So it's only 3 drones out right now, but still, that's a huge percentile. It's already 30% of the drones gone. If you want to quick math it, so
Yeah, I mean, what it means that now on the attack inside, you don't know what's going on inside the building. So now you gotta run to the building, get onto those balconies, and drone from your starting point, and just drone all the way through. It's a much slower process. Your drone might get caught, it might die, etc. You might miss drone something as well. So now GK's attack inside in the first round will just be a tad slower.
yeah, more and more we'll see Solus. More than likely see things like Yana, things like Twitch, things like Brava. You might be like, Stokes, why Brava and Twitch? Well, they have 4 drones instead of 2, and that's the key thing. You know, you might get a couple destroyed, but you still have access to that info game. And we know how important that is when it comes to Rainbow Six Siege.
Yep. Also, there are so many good default cameras on Chalet, so Bravo just gotta get to work and take those down, and not just deny G2 from having intel, but use an attack inside. You gain those default cameras on your side, so you get so much information, force them to shoot their own cameras, and progress a little bit quicker and a little bit more comfortably. And GK, they've been pretty passive so far, because when you do play something like Brava, you need to set up. You need to say, guys, give me like a minute here. I'm gonna drone everything, hack everything, and now I have a 5th gun ready to help you. But they have gained, as mentioned, a bunch of different intel on the map. Yellow ping's going out, Breach getting through here, EMPs, exothermic charges, but newest operator here of Tubaru can deny and stall out this wall breach for as long as he wants to, because these last, what, 12 seconds each, and he has 3 of them.
Yep, and the other beauty of this is that, you know, Virtue, he can kind of just play a central position here and try and electrical on those if he wants to, but it doesn't seem like that's really available to them right now. Doki's going to get down by Key here. Sirius will be able to take out Uno as well, so this is starting to look, G2 might be placed inside of the pot here in just a moment. Hooked up. Finally be able to get that wall open here as Key is trudging his way along. Finally be able to find that player in behind the piano. 2 versus 3 now, as Bench is all the way downstairs, and, well, Geekay, looking like you're around, unless Benja wants to do some crazy, crazy things here. He does have some prevention down low, and Trick's aware of that as they know that they have the Solus, but actually, obviously, the kitchen site, the one being actively played, as Ben just running back through. They get that top control, but they still have to try and place this case down inside of sight. Should have the crossfire here as Ben just trying to deal with these angles, but it's going to be very hard fought at such low HP. And the timing will get him. Benja tries to sneak back through, but the impact eats the side of the door. Will kill himself in the process.
He hits them with the question mark in chat. He's like, what are you doing, Benja?
The mental warfare. No kill for you, Superman.
Superman, okay. The praise there from Doki seriously. Very nice indeed.
Very well done.
I mean, that round kind of fell apart off two things. I mean, Doki getting injured early on kind of sucks. Like, they lost the front side on Piano. Uno then swung the door to try and help him, but because of the pre-placed drone inside of office, they just shot him through a barricade on the office door here. So things really quickly fell apart for G2. And despite getting an opening trade, again, they're just caught in the process.
And that's the dangerous thing about that top floor. You know, we kind of brought it up on the, you know, before we got into the map, but that's what you expect to see. You expect to see people kind of strung along that entire top area, especially on that balcony, keeping that active play for the window. Maybe somebody on master double as well every once in a while. While, you know, 2 to 3 people work things over on, you know, ego/double side. So we'll have to see if G2 want to try and deal with that down the line. But as of right now, very, very well kept around there from Geekay, especially with that early, you know, damming of those drones.
Attackers are moving out to locate
One thing I do want to see more of, and I'm glad that G2 now 2 rounds they've shown it, is Tubo, the new operator on defense, because we haven't really seen as much of the operator as I thought we would see before the nerf came through. I was like, okay, every round of defense, Tubo. Hasn't been the case, and the few times we have seen him being played, like last round, like one of those canisters that will go out, and it won't really interact much with the round. It won't change the outcome of anything. So I'd love to see like a more like a kite bandit trick with the frozen walls, trying to deny some of the heartbeat, stall out for longer. Uno now getting active again, finding key. That's thermite off the round. That's a very important number because basement bomb site, you typically want 2 heart breachers, but one of those 2 being downed now, you might not get all the ones open that you'd mission.
Definitely. That was a big moment there for me that last round as well. I was very surprised that they were playing with Tuberau, but they didn't have Virtue with any Electroclaws in his pocket to try and prevent that. So definitely seemed like the obvious line there for them to try and solve that puzzle, but not in the cards, I guess. G2 now, though, well within the right to take this round as they've taken down Key, the hard breach, as well as Seriously, who's been one of their star players thus far at this event.
Now, I mean, every single attacker is outside the building. Half the round already burned past, and G2, you might think, just go on bomb side, hide away, and they have done it with 4 players, but Benjamaster on the Solus, still uptight, roaming inside of library, and it makes sense. He can see where the drones are coming from, he can go for those flank attempts, because that's what Solus is good for as well. Sure, find drones early, but also, you always know if a camera is watching you when you try and go for a late round flank. It's all barricaded.
People forget how annoying those things are.
It's super annoying.
One of my favorite things to do, especially if somebody really likes playing Nook.
Yeah.
Just put barriers everywhere.
Every door. So you want to sneak up here and go for a flank? Nah.
You gotta smack it, buddy.
Yep. 2 or 3 times at least.
Give me that audio cue, you sneaky bastard. Let's show him. Get this door open, but obviously, as we were just talking about, the jig is up. They know what is going on this side of the map now. That's why they put that barricade there, so nobody can just adopt an angle for free and stand at the door. Noodle back on the Finca, his most played operator so far at this event. No nades anymore. Is he more than likely to try to use that to clear up bits of utility on the site? Show him aware that somebody could be trying to rotate through on the top floor. He sees that verticality, and as we know, Pangu, you don't just set up those things for no reason.
Nope, and it's the thing, like, walls are frozen, things are taking a long time, 1 more canister pocket of Virtue, only 1 way in, a small crouch hole on the breach, they gotta go for it right now, 20 seconds, 5 guns waiting for them, and it's not gonna be pretty.
It's definitely not. That was, though, from Noodle. Drop in, and oh my, practical execution out of G2. It's all up to Noodle. He'll pick himself back up, but it's all for naught, as every single G2 member in the tri-state area shows up to take that man down.
That's when you roam. When you have someone, just one player staying on the roam game, you know how much of the map is clear and what isn't. So those flanks, they come in so quickly. You saw Benji and Doki saying 3, 2, 1, run into piano from Fireplace and from Master Bedroom Hatch, just try and isolate that kill. And this was the opening kill for Uno. From kitchen to Master Bedroom window rappel, Benja hiding close in the window. Those are tough ways to die.
Yeah, that one's so very difficult. And again, those are the things that you just don't really think about, right? It's just somebody just sitting right in on the crease of the window right there. You're like, oh, I can just quickly do this and I'll toss the drone in from balcony. No, Benja thought so far ahead that he was already at the window. Ah, man. And then even past that, again, I love praising Benja for situations like this because it's just so well done. His survival rating at this event right now, before the last map as well, was already at 43%. And Nick, he also had a 1.0 KPR as well on top of that. So he's averaging a kill around. But his patience, every single time you see him in a position like this, he will do nothing but force you to waste time. He's like, you will come kill me. You will. I will force you to try and come into my realm, and then I'm going to beat you there.
So unfair, isn't it?
It's amazing. Just domain expansions on everybody.
There might be some domination this round because I see a Blitz, a Sense, a Cavital, and a bar attack. This screams into the bar double window. You know, Sense gets you smoke off the hatch. You know, fire somewhere in library, for example. He's trying to get down that diffuser. That's a possibility.
Hey, your op's out.
Yeah.
You got a little Blitz action.
My favorite operator here, and he has pistol out to make less noise with the shield to try and hide this operator, but he's rotating. This could be maybe a Fireplace with the Sense gadget in towards the bomb side. This is not going to be as basic of an attack as we might be thinking at first. This could be lobby into side, complete chaos, everyone working together.
Oh yeah, especially with that positioning there from Noodle. I mean, unless for some odd reason he really wants to run downstairs, there's no reason for him to not try and influence things here on the bar.
Oh, he
I
missed.
absolutely love this. They need some help. There's the sledge, and he goes. Some assistance from main stairs, but he's already bullied his way in. Benj is going to find one on the back end, though. Noodle notices the entire site's clear, but it's just Noodle. There's no assistance here for this man. They see Blitz through the wall. Key, actually. Nice little fold here as he's going to be able to find things in from the kitchen hall, but Virtue's got the verticality. Oh, Geekay. It's going to the wayside in a way that they did not really suspect. I don't think that they expected everybody to kind of be out of the sight and be playing it from, objectively off-based angles and just seeing the way of the sight and being able to find things that drop in from Virtue. And does it just start going for it on the side of the smoke? That's the real question here. They know that Hasham's outside. Well, Mai not able to find that. A hop out here and another. Oh, G2, I love it. There is no brake pedal in this car, just premium high-octane gas and an accelerator.
I love the execution potential there from Geekay, but there are so many things that weren't really hit. Like, no one's holding Fireplace staircase flank. The sledge missed the window with the first hammer swing, and they didn't know that hatches on the bomb side were opened up either. So there's so many gaps here, catching them by surprise. Plan goes down way too late in a less than ideal situation. The post plan isn't solid whatsoever. So what could have been beautiful really seemed like a last-minute stitched-together plan that wasn't really rehearsed all that much.
Yeah. I think the key part the key part for me there being that Geekay didn't really do their due diligence on their droning. They didn't discover what G2 was trying to do for their setup initially, and then try and do something off of that. They just went for their play.
All the side was like, they're just gonna rush it.
Yeah, exactly. They drone that out. Like, okay, well, we know there aren't people exactly in this area, but then the question begs, where is G2? And the answer to that is they're everywhere they need to be to shut down every single entry point from upstairs. Because it's so very pivotal to that site, Nick. You have to hold down library. If you don't, you lose the round.
You're kind of trolling if you're not, And to go back to the point about Benja, Danish players statistically in Siege. Not many.
Just because he's a Dane, that's it?
Not many of us, but oh my, have they performed, right? So there's been 4 Danish players in Pro League ever. Myself, 1 invitationals and stuff, whatever. There's been Saronic, went to the Year 1 in Season 3 Pro League final against Tri-Canadian.
So biased.
With playing Dogs against CTM. And then there's been Benja Master, who's, he's like the GOAT, right? And then there was Thompson.
Oh my God.
Thompson, he was on Barrage and EUL. They went 0-10 for the season and he disappeared. So like, there's an outlier, of course. There's always an outlier. But statistically, while there are not many of us, the people who have gone to pro play, being from Denmark, they have performed at a ridiculous level.
Yeah. Man,
Just a small, like, I'm Danish too,
little support.
Yeah.
Little support.
Clap myself on the shoulder.
Always got to talk about Zoronic when you can too, because I mean,
He's an OG.
Yeah, an OG dude, and such a good guy as well. On top of that, so E1D out now. Geekay trying to adopt a few angles here over on the Solarium side. They got Noodle in down low. He's gonna be rocking things out on the Yana. G2 not trying to jump into the thick of things yet, but as soon as I say that, of course, out of all people, right, it's got to be Doki trying to take a fight up against Trix, and he's going to lose that out.
Bomb located by attack.
It's a little bit more difficult for them now, especially after Hashom finds Alum out.
Yeah, it is not a great start on the C4. Could be good, and it is. Uno lands it. That's going to help things equalize just a little bit with Key off the board. So Fear, that soft destruction will not be in play for this round, but G2 needs more than just a single or kill. They're locked off pretty far back towards Piano, Master Bedroom, and all they need from GK is one guy on Big Master Bedroom Repel. They cut off the bomb set in half.
Uno, he's being antsy about this because he doesn't know if he's holding that window. You always have to worry about this balcony play. The beauty of it is the person that has to play here has to worry about a lot of things, but he catches you off guard. Be able to find that key frag. Oh, it tags him up. And, this is gonna get really risky. Benja finds Hashom. Lots of damage now, bleeding onto G2. Rotation here from Noodle, but Virtue's actually gonna find Seriously. Speaking of Seriously, DK needs some serious help right now. They just cannot get this to crack. G2 constantly battering them back at the gates, and Noodle will go down. He's fully stunned inside of lobby. It's all up to Trix, and they probably know he's here because of that goo mine, and they do. He finds one through the wall, though. These players very low, but that mirror window is going to make things a little risky here for him, especially after these nades go off. But Uno with a beautiful line of sight. Well done from him as he will shut this down, and G2 stay on pace to take things on map 2.
Before this series started, I made like 3 kind of key words to describe G2 so far this side, despite only playing against NIP and Fearix. And my 3 words were dominant, clutch, and flexible. And so far, they have fulfilled all those 3 categories in the first map of Oregon and now here in Chalet, where that should not have been a G2 round victory, but then clutch comes into it, right? All of a sudden, it is a G2 victory. It's the same thing they did to NIP time and time again. When they look out, do not count them out because they find a way in so often.
Absolutely. And honestly, I think what really assists them with this is that players across the board on G2 are so unbelievably knowledgeable of this game. They know the main lines that these teams want to take, and you can see that really influencing their play. They're constantly worrying about the most pivotal thing in the strategy that the offense is going for, and they're shutting it down over and over again, whether it be through actually killing the person, distracting them and wasting time, or using utility to its fullest. It doesn't really matter. G2 are consistently finding these moments to be able to work their way back into a map, and honestly, Geekay, they get these advantages, Nick, but they don't really do anything with them. They kind of just sit there and go, okay, what's G2 gonna do next? Yeah. No, that's not what you need to consider.
What are you gonna
do next?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we talk about opening kill percentage. That's like one statistic, but then conversion to a round victory is another stat line. So you can kind of build upon it. Okay, GK, they get opening kill, they lose the round. That's not how it's supposed to go. If you cannot utilize the advantage that you're getting, then it's not really a true advantage. Yeah. And of course, experience comes into it. You said they're all knowledgeable from G2, been playing for a long time. GK, they're coming from MENA. They're just like the second major for them. They have not been around for as long of a time. And while they do have Noodle, from Europe, who can maybe share some of the knowledge from that region, they just need more time to gel together. And losing these kinds of rounds to a team like G2, that's not bad in the grand scheme of things.
It's really not. But hey, that's the difference between good and great teams right there.
Yeah.
G2 in that scenario, they probably drop off of everything and go for a one-front assault over on like Office.
I was gonna say, right? I think you go together and just go for it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure. When you got manpower, go 5 against 3, you might just win that. If you spread out across the map, all you gotta lose are individual 50-50 gunfights. That's exactly what they did in that previous round. 2 people from G2 jumped out windows and they got 2 kills.
I just wanted to get a world champion to agree with me, so I saw that line, I was like, I'll take that one right there.
I'm smart too sometimes.
Every once in a while. Let's not sing those praises too high, okay? I like to give myself the benefit of the doubt so I can say some dumb things every once in a while and be like, hey guys, come on, I don't know everything. Trix, though, Gonna be working things over on the Solarium side. Oh, Uno.
If only I could jump out the window.
Right. He's like, I'd even take going down.
Exactly.
I don't really care.
I would take that.
You're telling me the thermite is repelled on this window right now? Let me at him. Let me at him. Oh, man. This top floor, once again, folks, back in the same boat. Geekay are going to attack this top floor. G2's entire strategy is going to be wasting some time, potentially keeping some verticality, especially here for Virtue. I think he just killed him through the Solarium stairs. Oh, yeah, they got some verticality up top right here. Disgusting stuff, making Trophy really difficult to play. They know that one's inside of Trophy still persisting, but not any longer. Key's down, and this round is already looking like it's G2's. Virtue has 3 kills. He's literally everywhere right now. A brick wall placed in front of Geekay.
That's ridiculous. All from one position as well. Just like verticality holding top floor, and he still's got a little bit of HP left to work with, but you see him, he's peeled off to a more passive position. He's done his job. He's achieved what he had to do in that round. There are still 4 other G2 members up and right at the end. Virtue swings it first, but the trade is immediately there from LMAO.
Oh, I love it. I love watching Clean Siege. It's just a thing of beauty. The checks and balances that G2 have implemented are, oh man, it's just so damn good. G2, Geekay, specifically Tricks right now, looking at that front double door, but I mean, let's not flirt with it too long, my friend. We all know the result of this one. Let's not try and kid ourselves. Lots of damage, and it's done. Love that G2, once identifying things, calming things out, somebody rotates across. That's some things you don't see every once in a while, where the support's not there. It's like, oh, it's one guy, you got it.
Yeah.
No, that's how clutches happen, and we don't allow that.
Exactly. And when we talk about the best teams in the world, currently WCM, for example, it's like, okay, why are they so good? Well, for starters, it looks like they have no weaknesses, right? That's a big given. But then it's okay, their fundamentals are really good. What I mean by that is, when WCM, anybody goes into a gunfight, it's never one guy. There's always a body somewhere, swinging, jumping out, you know, getting that trade immediately. Right here, Virtue swings, but not because he's trolling, because LMAO is right behind the corner on the opposite side of that building, or the room rather, to get that kill if Virtue falls. Whereas if Virtue swung that without LMAO there, it's a bad play. Yeah, it's 5 versus 2 or whatever, but that's how you start losing those rounds that you should win, because you're throwing your life away.
Yep, and these are the FPS fundamentals.
Yes.
If you want to get good at FPSs, folks, I promise you, these are just the little things you want to add inside of your arsenal. It will make you a better player. It doesn't matter the FPS. It straight up doesn't.
Game.
And some of them, it even matters more. Halo, team shotting, that is the biggest thing ever, because you're going to delete that person's health bar. Gunfights happen a lot longer than a game like Counter-Strike or like Rainbow Six Siege, you know what I mean? So put that feather in your cap. It will definitely assist in the long run. And if you can get some friends that will adhere to the same strategy, oh my God, you have something going for yourself.
You might actually have fun playing games you did that, you know? Playing with some friends, having a good time on the same page.
Most definitely. And then obviously you get to also do some fun stuff as well, especially in Siege. You can bring some wacky operator lineups or whatever. That used to be my favorite thing to do with my friends back in the day. Just see the different ways we could, you know, accomplish things on maps.
You might be thinking like, what is Noodle doing right now? Well, I'll tell you. He's waiting for an impact run out on that garage wall, because it's pretty common. You see their Tricks is droning, and we know that Unu's been on Solis. He's been doing those things, like C4ing people, taking care of them, etc. with the intel. They're like, okay, they might see he's droning, they might go for impact run out, and they're holding. So good discipline, good read here from Geekay, but it goes unpunished.
There is somebody in Big Garage as well.
There's LMAO with a shotgun, so he might go for it, but yeah, he's like, Oh, they have a drone as well.
Why the hell are you playing Smoke in Big Garage, Alamo? You can take anybody else.
There. I mean, they barricade the door. Last time that was clear because of it, so they're big branding, right? Last time, door barricade, equals clear. This time, someone's in there. Can't make that up.
It's so crazy. Just, I genuinely cannot believe it's like, I'm gonna play Smoke in Big Garage. It's like one of those pieces of utility you really want later. But hey, I mean, the other beauty of it, wow.
On the barrier as well.
And that's the thing, right? Those DMRs on defense, they'll catch you off guard every once in a while once they work their way into the fold. You're used to getting tagged up by an MPX or something like that, and then that EBR hits you in the chest, and you're like, what the hell just happened?
My health bar.
Oh, wow, that Kiba barrier, Nick. That is disgusting inside of red. Uno's going to get key. And Geekay, the big issue right now is the patience is great, but G2 are just waiting for you to try and step up to the plate, and they are constantly knocking this thing out of the park. Noodle, this will toss down range. He'll be able to take out Uno, but he's going to have to look like Shohei Ohtani here to try and assist with the rest of this.
I mean, there is one thing with Geekay here. 3 members of G2, 1 or 2 bullets, and they are down for the count. Downside is no hard breach, no easy way to the building, and now Noodle getting tagged up as well. Geekay got in some nasty shots here to be way into this round.
There's Barb on Blue too. Just everything that could go wrong or be in the way of Geekay. Well, it's been exactly that. G2 will lose a body though, but as we've noticed, things typically trending their way inside of these moments. Although Hasham trying to make his bet right now. Start hedging him at home. Who's got it here in the last 20 seconds? Alum out. He's worked his way over to the main hall. Geekay trying to address things by, I believe, trying to attempt to plant here inside of Snowmobile Garage. He's going to work his way down, but they've got some solid angles here. They'll be able to identify Noodle working his way in. If somebody makes it to that closet, this round is more than likely over, but they're not going to be capable of that. A smoke for Blue, and it looks like G2 wants to try and take this through retake. Noodle's going to get this plant. They know that they're both playing Big Garage. Ben just got Blue. The Nitro Cell timing doesn't work out. A little bit of damage dealt to Noodle, and Alamau, the team captain, has a moment in the sun, but flying a little bit too close. He'll burn up. Now, nice little round there to add to the back pocket here for Geekay, one that they desperately needed on this offense as well.
But that's what we talked about last time. We're like, oh, G2 are so good. You know, they're trading, they're together in the previous round, but then this one, they're all throwing their bodies together. It's a 5 versus 2 or 4 versus 2. They should not lose out in that round. Oh, that is 30.
There's no way that Nuno also just like looked down to track it.
Yeah.
That is an insane idea to make sure you know that it's fully placed. He just matched the pace with his crosshair there.
Crazy.
Able to find that, man. But yeah, I'm in the exact same mind space as you on that.
Lost that. I mean, and I will say this as well, because we saw it. G2, nobody was holding default cams when Noodle and Ash was inside of lobby because he shot the fireplace default cam. If anybody was on that default cam from G2, they would be like, yo, this guy's rotating fireplace staircase with diffuser. He's gonna go down the staircase and plant exactly where he did. Alamau had a smoke grenade, Benji had a C4. If they had positioned themselves better and read the situation with the default cam, they could have shut down the plant easily and won the round. But no one's watching default cams.
No.
I checked it. Right after Noodle shut the camera, that's when 2 people from G2 went onto cams. But it's too late at that point. They had no idea what was happening for them. They assumed that cam was shut probably early in the round. So, yeah, very small mistakes, a little bit of laziness here.
Yep.
It's not okay. But GK, individually, did a great job winning those fights in that round.
Hey, it goes back to the fundamentals, my friends.
Yep.
We're always going to harp on those because they're important for a reason. You know, that right there could have been the round difference for G2. Geekay, an aggressive look off front, and Hasham, I love it. He knows that, I thought there was going to be a swing there from Alamau, but his character model's twitching a bit as she did have that F2 ringing true. A lot of people are starting to adopt the F2 back over the 417.
It's time.
Yeah, right? Interesting stuff. Oh, it's not going to be the B. It's going to be Gridlock. So we do obviously have Grim not available for this one, as Geekay did take him away. But they will at least be able to get that player outside of Library. And we've talked about how important this part of the map is for the site.
It's hard to clear it, even how to like enter and actually take control over it, especially a man down. For G2, they have this like 4-1 backstep right now, 3-1.
Oh,
What?
when you do that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, why did you do that, right? Seriously, he swung it probably for info, really bad timing for him, but now you lose mezzanine control. Seriously, 1-7 so far here in Chalet, and he's a Sami. Those key barriers, if he had any in pocket, I didn't get to see it, not in play any longer. So library control very slowly falling apart here for GK.
Honestly, you get a drone in here, it seems like it's already done, and yeah, it is. Virtue's got the cross here. Nobody can really work their way up the blue stairs, and Alamau, he's already got the mezzanine library in full control now, and well, we saw Geekay get in similar positions throughout these 2 maps where they would try and throw things at the site or just start trying to traverse their way around and find kills. But G2, they're going to keep a couple active players, but a drone game still as well. Oh, Hasham, he's going to want that back so badly. If Benja is not a 3 armor, he does not survive that. It's the only way he gets through it, and he's got a triple kill now. Anytime Benja starts to pop off, and come hell or high water, it seems like a G2 round. Benja's gonna start this plant. They know the case is going down. Noodle's gonna attempt to stop it, but I highly doubt this isn't being covered. An impact out. Benja Actually, the only one remaining. Things happening so fast, it made my head spin. I thought we still had another G2 member up, but it's actually a 1 versus 1 here in between these two. No frag grenades or drone to try and assist. And you can see every single member of G2, Nick, is looking at Benja. There's no drone here. Alamau and Uno's going to move back over. Might be one maybe in the hallway or something like that. He's got to continue to try and bait this, but the issue is that Noodle can see him through the walls if he wants to stick this. They start using that utility. Going to try and actually just straight up kill him through, but that deployable shield might actually work back into G2's favor. Oh.
15 seconds left.
Back and forth we go, huh, my friend? He's got the hatch play now. He's got to get him right here. Very well done from Noodle. The patience play out of him. And Benja definitely not going to be happy with the rest of his squad on that one as, I mean, so insult and injury. He's still got 3 kills. Very unfortunate circumstances befalling G2.
Trix did hit some disgusting SMG11 shots though. When he got killed by Benja, he traded with the guy in Fireplace as well with a nasty flick one-tap essentially. So while Benja was the hero for G2 in the worst of ways, surviving this engagement which he had no business doing, completely absurd, right? Trix, however, right here, gets one snap. And this one, wait for it. He gets that kill. Yeah, exactly. Right as Benja kills him. So that's the thing that I think that we both missed in the immediate there. That's why it was a 1v1. Because Trix found those kills immediately out of nowhere. And then you're up against Solus 1v1 trying to plant. You can't.
Yeah.
He knows exactly where you're planting, how long you're into it. Benja, I was hoping for a brain play there where you drop the fuser on the ground to force him to swing you because it looks like you're actually planting. Didn't go for it. But either way, when you're 1 HP like that with Gridlock, probably not gonna go out well for you.
That's a 200 IQ play right there, my friend. I love that. You've shown me 2 things so far this game. Number 1, the blitz shield on the back. I don't play blitz at all. I don't play shields.
Yeah.
So
makes less bonky noise.
yeah, very smart. As well as that, I mean, obviously you can see the case, but never thought about that line to be able to use it in a situation like that. But, you know, when it's in a high, intense environment like this, sometimes those little moments can just escape you. So far here for G2, they haven't been able to get things rolling on the offensive side just yet. They are going to bring in quite a few pieces of info here. A lot of soft destruction as well in tow.
Yep, and just like when we saw Oregon, there is only one kind of burrowing trend here. There's not a whole lot of heart-reaching capabilities for the side of G2. They have just... Benja is right now having a similar run as the last Invitationals of 23 when he was a champion, right, with his team.
I got him right here. I can tell you the stats.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, bring it up. Let's talk about it.
He was plus 87 at the last event.
That's pretty good, I think.
1.19, 70% cost, a 0.93 KPR. He's dead now after he got the double, but still 32% survival rating. As of right now, again, before this series even happened, he had a 1.37. He was plus 18.
Yep. What that means in simple numbers, people that are not good at them, that is disgusting, you know, performance basically. And Benja in that round walks in library, gets a kill, walks down staircase, gets another kill, and sure he dies, but you're Jackal. You roam cleared the full map single-handedly. You did your job as your operator, and now G2 they got Ram, they got Buck, they still got 2 cannon openers and Uno that they can use for the hop reaching. They have everything that they want. So now Benja has to watch a drone, flicking between 2 different ones. Those are flank cams, and that is going to be the round secured if G2 can like close this out tightly.
Definitely. He's got so much timing for this as well.
Yep.
To get this move mine out of his foot. Gonna need some solid pressure out of the defense here, but the big issue right now is that they don't really have any true stoppage attempt here for utility. No nitro cell, they do have an impact, but that's not really gonna do much, minus a little bit of splash damage. Have a discovery moment here for Hisham. He knows someone's inside of bar, but they have to do double coverage on this. Nice little find there for Hisham onto Alamau, but wow, Doki, heat of the moment, able to find him in a split second. Nice little rotation here from Noodle, but more than likely gonna be discovered here. He's flirting with death. Seems like they have a drone here as well. Yep, Benja, we know where that drone is now, don't we? Those shots coming through the kitchen wall as Benja is just constantly flicking back and forth through things. You can also see Alamau on one of these cameras as well. So Geekay, they're stuck to the site. There's not much more they can do. If they go for these rotations, they're more than likely just going to give up a body.
Yep, smoke, splash, and time to go. Uno will plant on the fuser, and the cover just has to be there from Virtue and Doki.
Now, this closet already covered via that hatch. They're not going to let him through here. It's going to go off without a hitch. Not really much to do either as well. There's just so many different angles to try and work your way back through. Uno, oh my. That second TCSG shot needed to land, but Uno, the proper wide swing there, just steps off the angle just to the side there, Pangy, just enough to give him a dirty look. G2 find their offensive round finally, after that last one was kind of a struggle.
So the one thing here, if G2 had not, I don't want to say thrown because it's like disrespectful to DK because they played well, but had they won that, the basement defense where they were 4 versus 2, and had they won that previous bar clutch from Benja where Trix doesn't land those nasty shots, that's game over.
Yep.
That's 7-2 for G2, but instead, because those rounds kind of slipped away from them, they're just looking at 5-3 right now. They still got 2 more rounds to go, and right now they gotta fight pretty hard to get there.
Yeah, most definitely. It's Geekay. Only see it on their faces, but it most definitely been having some active moments inside of the server that have been game-altering, especially for things like Hasham. One man that we really want to see, though, is most definitely Seriously right now. If Seriously can start to pop off just a little bit here, maybe get some more kills out of Key as well on top of that, we could really have a game going between these two.
That's the thing. If Seriously was having his usual performance, this would have been like an overtime Oregon, an overtime Chalet probably, or at least very, very close down to the wire, because this is a very much weakened GK. Seriously normally will not go negative. He goes equal or positive, finding clutches, finding big moments like he did previously, but right now, he is just nowhere to be seen in these rounds for his team. He dies early very often. He makes these kind of frustrating plays where he springs out a doorway where he has no business doing it, being, oh, I can take this risk, but when you're 1-8, you've taken those risks many times and it has not worked out. It's time to change something around. It's too much.
Yeah, it's just a very drastic difference from what we've seen from them throughout the rest of this tournament. You know, Seriously and Hasham both almost averaging a 1-point KPR at 0.9 for Hasham and a 0.94 for Seriously.
Exactly.
But they've been completely shut down for the most part here. Hasham, a little bit better, obviously, 7 and 6, but now they know where Key is. Key locked inside of this left-hand reinforcement here, but saw that man over on the Solarium stairs, making things a little bit more difficult for G2, muddying the water just a tiny bit.
Ooh. They had the drone, they got the intel, but Key will run away. He'll survive for this time. C4 went out earlier. Doki almost died himself. He's Twitch, so he can just spend more time on drones here, maybe flank watch, etc. His smokes, he's got diffuser. So Doki no longer an injured player for this round, most likely. Whereas the G2 got to step up now. Probably Unu, Virtue, and Alamau. His bench is also on that drone duty on the Flores.
Most definitely. All these drones working their way in. And this is the key difference right here, folks. If you want something to just kind of bring home out of this round and tell the difference between these two on offense, look at G2's patience for this drone game.
Yep.
So Geekay with a lot of active angle play and that stuff. Yeah, that can work out for you, but those dedicated droners, especially in the mid-round, it can make all the difference to your strategy for execution.
Yeah, change the pace, match it at the right time, and now Benja creeping up, looking for a free kill. Uno as well inside of Piano Hallway with the right time of distraction game here. Easily a free kill for Uno possibly if Benja can assist him.
How Benja's playing this as well, trying to bait that hop out, but could have that hop out from the bathroom window as well. Seriously has been a lot at the wall and hoping that it sticks. Noodle gonna go down, and Uno actually gonna be able to find one as Trick steps up inside a Piano. Has shown we'll be able to take down Benja, but G2, as of right now, at least have the man advantage. Still some solid areas of the map in control of Geekay, but the issue is now is that G2, they are just forcing them to bleed. All of these angles eating at Geekay, and that's what we talked about. Buzzword, split theory. There it is right there on full display. So many damn angles to worry about. You can't even breathe.
Yeah, that's the thing, and especially with Master Bedroom, the way that bombs at work, you'll be locked out really quickly, and that is split theory. G2, they start mostly on one side. There's like 4 people trying to clear out Key on the mirror inside a trophy. When Doki then got low in HP, they realized, hey, this is not what we're fighting for. It's time to go from old style Siege, where we're all playing together, to play new style of Siege, aka split theory, and go everywhere across the map. And again, the small micro decision making. Uno holding the window jump out for Benja. Benja trying to bait it. Doki, who's 1 HP literally, was on big window repel, just holding really passive angles with the TMR. He got 3 kills, covered the jump out on Piano as well, and the cross with the entire bomb side. So really, there's a lot of thought here into where each player should be going based off their operator, how much health they have, and what they're really the strongest at.
Yeah, and that's what I love out of that you pointed out, is especially earlier in the round, Doki gets injured.
Yeah.
He runs back, starts droning things out, and gets on a supporting angle.
Yeah.
And that, I think that's one thing that confuses a lot of people when we talk about about kind of the, this setup for the offensive side of things is like, okay, well, how do you dictate this? Well, you don't want Doki going in the building and taking a fight there. He's got too low HP, but he's got the 417 still, so he's great for angle holding, great for these moments where he can try and catch somebody off guard, because as we've been talking about constantly with these DMRs, you really only got to hit people twice, and they're probably on the ground.
That's exactly it. Now, Geekay mentioned earlier, they took one map off W7M. They are a little bit away from that right now against D2. It's match point for them, series point for D2, in fact, as the one Oregon previously. So, not quite the same result, but they are looking for something here.
Gotta use the vocabulary word I learned forever ago from Parker. It's the penultimate round that they just got there. G2 now need their last.
Sorry, Bleed beat W7M on the map.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah, I couldn't pull that one off the top of my head either. I didn't have the luxury of watching that one. Yeah, so no worries though. Noodle's gonna go down, and actually, that is a huge piece to this puzzle, Nick. Solace off the board. Yeah, it's a huge opening kill. I mean, you want Solace for the late round, right? The flank, also Noodle got that 1v1 clutch in the plant situation, etc. So now that's gone. No active roaming with Intel, and seriously, he's now 1-9, playing in the key position. He has to step up, but he dies immediately again. So does Key. The aggression from G2 at the right moment, applying pressure. It's over. Suffocating the life out of Geekay. It's all up to Hashom, but they know where he is. Oh my, a double out of Hashom. Wait, let's not count him out of it just yet, but oh no, there's no way they keep giving it to him. Doki, thank you for shutting that down. That would have been one of the craziest giveaways I've ever seen in my entire life. But G2, they shut it down. They shut it down in 2-0 fashion. Hashom really put him in the blender right there. Just press that button, go brrr. 4 people just hunting him down, while the 5th man is planting down the diffuser. Thank God that they closed it off, because that would have been an embarrassing round to lose. Yeah, most definitely. But you can definitely say this, Geekay definitely have some very solid things going for themselves. They do. I love their mechanics. They definitely have some solid strategy going into things right now. They just need to find when and how to push those buttons at the proper moments. Yeah, I think mostly for them, it's the details, right? The blitz rush and bar that we saw, great concept, but in execution, in reality, not every single angle is really thought through 100%. So I like what they have to work with. Small improvements here and there. They can get a lot further than what they did right here. Yeah, most definitely. We'll have to see how this will continue on for them. Maybe we can get some better games out of seriously, and just get a little bit of a better idea of strategy down the line. As again, G2, one of the best teams in the world right now, folks. And if there's somebody that you want to take a lesson from, it's probably them. Yeah, and I mean, it's been a while, but they are the defending champions right now for that hammer. So G2, they come alive at these kinds of events. Yes, they most definitely do. All right, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for G2 and Geekay. We'll see you a little bit later on today, but we're going to toss you to a quick break.
Thank you so much, Pengu. And, whoa, I just blanked there. Sam, thank you so much for that. Congratulations to you guys as well on the win. Alamau, thank you for joining us on the desk for the interview. You're currently very much at the top of your group. How does that feel?
I mean, it feels great. We prepared a lot for this boot camp in Brazil for 10 days, and I feel we're really ready to play the playoffs.
Sounds really good. I mean, the main question that we had about the first map was that you guys banned Ashe, and we thought it was maybe because you wanted to play Mira, so you had to save for Miras, but then you didn't really play lots of Mira. Why was the Ashe ban specifically?
Just because Noodle is so good on Ashe, we just decided to ban Ashe because he's too good.
All right, fair enough. I mean, looking as well in terms of how Geekay has been performing as a whole, were you guys surprised or taken aback by how much they were pushing you guys?
No, we know like they like to play like this, like their playstyle is really aggressive, but I think we prepared really well for that, and I think we showed on Chalet that we were ready for their aggression.
So when it comes to having like a 10-day boot camp here in Brazil, and you're now playing here in SI, you're through groups most likely because you've been doing so well. How much are you looking forward to that live crowd?
I mean, the live crowd is going to be amazing, but we still have to win at least like 2 games in the playoffs to make the big stage. I trust in my team. I think we're going to do it, and it's going to be amazing. I think I have my whole family coming from my city to here, and so it's going to be great.
That's very nice. You have DC coming up next as well. Do you think they can be a really good contender for you to make it difficult to make it towards that main stage, or are there any other teams that you're scared of?
Yeah, this is really good. I think with Nath, they've been really well. Like Nath used to help Eminem a lot of strats and Chaos, so I think, and he's playing individually very well as well. So I would put Nath as one of the best players in the tournament, and I think with this addition, they are really scary.
scary in terms of their adaptability, in terms of new strategies that they're bringing, in terms of them just playing together as a team? What is it exactly that you look at when you're looking at DZ and think, wow, I don't want to go up against that?
I think they're always very ready strategically because they have a Canadian and Nave now on the tactical part. I don't know how Mint helped them with that, but I know these guys are good for sure. And also, they always been good mechanically and skilled, so yeah, I think they're good.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us for the interview. I think Geekay had something to say to you, so I'm going to let you go off and have a conversation with him to see what that's about. We do appreciate it, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
In terms of how this map went, though, and 7-3, if that first mapper was a close call for the side of G2 Geekay, this one was an absolute tear from G2's side of things, and they really came out swinging. I mean, not to take anything away from Geekay, what we've seen from their players individually when it comes to their mechanics, they have so much, and also, they've played the most difficult teams in their group, okay? Copium. Okay, I gotta do that, okay? As a man, it is what it is.
They can check that off now, of course, but you have to give credit to G2 for this very, very solid performance here. I think specifically on Chalet, something that they did very well was play that info game. I think they definitely looked at the game that Geekay played earlier against Dark Zero, where they saw they really utilized the information that they had very well. We saw G2 play lots of solos on their own defense, making sure that Geekay was kind of blind when they were going in for certain takes, but also on their own attacks. I felt like the majority of the times that I saw someone getting killed on the side of Geekay was when they had their backs facing a G2 opponent. They maybe weren't always aware, maybe weren't always having enough information to be able to deal with G2.
Absolutely. G2 is really trying to be dynamic on the way that they hunt roamers. They were always isolating one specific person. Unfortunately, it looked like Seriously was always on the other side of that roam hunt, but they did a great job at just hunting down that first guy, getting a pick, and then carrying them through the round, taking a little more time to get through the round win.
I guess we haven't really heard of personal space yet. But when it comes to the game and how it was executed, G2 are leaving in a very good mood. But I also want to highlight a little bit in terms of that celebration. I know this wasn't necessarily evident on the stream itself because obviously we're also looking at the cast. But in terms of the happiness level from G2, like, oh, yay. And then it was done.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. We were standing here, we didn't have the game on, and I didn't realize that the game was over.
Yeah, same.
That's how quiet it was in this room from both parties, really. I mean, it really seemed like GK were defeated in that regards. It's like there weren't even a single word. It's like, oh, nice try, guys. It felt very quiet, but for G2, I felt like, oh, just another one ticked off on the way to the second hammer.
G2O strikes again, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the level of confidence. In their minds, they played the hardest teams, and now when they go up against a significantly weaker team in their minds, they expect to come away with it. It's all about how clean the round counts go and how they use their ability and time and around.
Yeah, that also once again impacts their standings. A 21 round difference. Like, you cannot make this up. G2 has been performing phenomenally over the last couple of days. 12 points secured in the back, just ahead of DZ, who they're going to be going up against next because that will be their next opponent. Geekay with this, however, unfortunately does fall into 4th place, but they still have their Fear X and NIP matchup.
They do, but this is also looking really good for G2, right? Because we have the groups. Of course, you're trying to get out of groups, but if you do get first, you do get a massive advantage in that regards as well. And the way that G2 is currently setting up for that is they're looking really good for that first spot in groups.
Yeah, and also the G2 players individually have been doing incredible so far in this series and in SI in general. So let's have a look at the intel play of the game. Specifically from Uno, this man had a phenomenal performance on map 1, and then you go into map 2 and it's still there.
I mean, this is something we wanted to add earlier on as well, because prior in this same map, Uno already had a massive play going, we're really pulling the round back towards his way. And here as well, especially, look at the round count at the top right.
I'm not looking, I'm closing my eyes, I don't want to see it.
This is to secure the map as well. You could literally see the celebrations after that. I feel like there were more celebrations after that than there were after they won the entire
that was heartbreaking.
series. Yeah, but it just shows the dominance and that these individually skilled players on the side of G2 really know how to step up.
Yeah, I think the whole point of G2's strategy was always to stall as much time and really force GK to go for those executes and leave Uno and Virtue in those positions to kind of clutch up, to put themselves in those positions. And Uno had a phenomenal game today, and he was the one to stand up specifically on G2, and he made it a lot easier for the rest of his team's plan structure to follow through and pretty much just be done exactly how they had it prepped.
And that's what makes G2 such a scary team, because they're a multi-threat team. It's not just one player continuously showing up. Like, anyone on their day can pop off and can have a phenomenal performance, and you don't know what you're gonna get. So it's a matter of getting onto the server and just praying and seeing what your luck will be. But that is us done for the first part of today. We're gonna be heading over to a break because we have the halftime show, and then we're gonna be back with a banger from Group C with W7M up against Virtus Pro.